Good evening, everybody, boys and girls, whoever's watching. It is Monday, January 22nd, 7:33 p.m. East Coast time. This is Mr. Mom Collectibles. We are back again for the third Monday in a row. It seems like these Mondays are working out, works out for the gang, so we're just going to keep them going. I am here with a stacked panel of people. Someone that hasn't been on stream for a little while. I was able to dig him out, beanie and all, Mr. Dom Prime. Haven't seen you for a while, so I hope you're doing well, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And then we got up there tobacco sticks and pork flesh, and looks like there's some cakes in the profile picture. That couldn't be anyone else but CMB up there. I hope you're doing well, brother. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks for having me. What's
and
going
then
on, everybody in the chat?
There you go. We're letting people trickle in a little bit, and then obviously, I feel like he needs no introduction. He's 3 for 3 on streams on Mondays. It's the person bringing the hate, but in a very constructive, positive, sarcastic way, I guess, is the Hatealorian. Sean, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Wow, what a great introduction.
Yeah, I just kind of rolled that off.
Couldn't hate on myself anymore. Any better.
So I appreciate it. So let's jump into it. We got some stuff to cover. Like I said, I got extra topics, some stuff that we'll talk. We'll just see how the conversation goes. We got more topics than we might cover tonight. So I got some backups, but definitely got some juicy stuff to talk about. Let's see who's in there right now. Carlito saying good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Cigars and Bacon, what up, party? Carlito with the thumbs up. Hatealorian was testing out some stuff because we had some, I won't lie, we had some trolling, and before the stream, I jumped on, I saw some trolling jumping in, and so I got some boys that Hatealorian has the blue wrench. He's my eyes and ears looking out, as with CMB. So if there's any trolling going on, well, you'll be evicted in due time. And we got uncarded reviews. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Dropping the watermelon. Hot Toys Nightmare. Look at that booty. Hello, everyone. Hit the like button. Take care tonight. Love you long time. I appreciate it. It's a shame. I actually wanted Sean on here tonight, but family, I believe it's his daughter's birthday tonight, so he's out celebrating. Family first, as always. So, Sean, I hope to have you back soon.
Happy birthday to Little Nightmare.
There you go. Absolutely.
Happy birthday.
I appreciate his insight as always, and his knowledge. So, but family first, as always. There's no excuse for that. But we'll jump right in. Like I said, I'll just do a roll, just kind of run through some topics to kind of keep us on track. We'll talk about the Hot Toys Black Manta. Just run through it real fast, just because we got MRC put up a video from Secret Base, so we'll just kind of run through that. We also, something that the panel's interested in. I have no vested interest. I'll be upfront. I'll be a fake collector on this. I'll admit something I'm not collecting, but the panel wants to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it, which is the James Braddock Missing in Action 1/6 scale figure that went up for pre-order today. Pretty much I got outvoted. The panel's like, we got to talk about it, so we're throwing it in there. The InArt Joaquin Phoenix Joker, potentially up for pre-order soon. And we'll just look at the photos. And does perfection exist in 1/6 scale collecting? I say no. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And then character likeness rights. A lot of times with figures, we talk about, the actors aren't signing off on stuff, why we don't have a artisan best bin Han Solo. We're going to dive into that as well. And then finally, guys, you may not hear it on other streams, but we're going to talk about it. The juicy news, and Sean has no idea what we're going to talk about. I'm hoping he doesn't Google search this, so I want his live reaction. But Toys Wonderland potentially on the run.
We're coming in clean.
We're going to dive into that one as well. But real fast.
Bad boys. What you going to do?
That's funny.
Dun.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could play that.
Stories.
I would probably get demonetized if I played the Law and Order theme. The dun 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 dun. So jump right into it though. Black Manta. It went up for pre-order, $255. What we got here? It's on Sideshow. Expected to ship January 2025 to June 2025. I pre-ordered this one already. I mean, I have to admit, I did not see Aquaman 2. I believe, if I'm staying correct, I think it's coming out on digital tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It's on iTunes, might be HBO Max. I'm not really sure, but I was waiting. So it's going to come out on streaming tomorrow or digital. So I'm just going to wait to see the movie then. I didn't mind the first one. It is what it is. The second one, I heard it was kind of a mixed bag. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I know Nate said he liked the movie, so it is what it is. I like Jason Momoa, so I kind of support everything he does. So I'll definitely catch it. But I
Mr.
did.
Mo,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Yes. Go.
You're gonna like Aquaman 2 as much, if not less than how much you liked Wonder Woman 2.
Did you see Aquaman 2?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Now I hated Wonder Woman. I hated Wonder
I
Woman.
want my money back.
That's why I'm hoping I can
Wow,
stream.
well.
They
Hate
should
have
Logan,
voted
I know you.
That's why I'm hoping I can
I know
stream.
you
it for
dropped
free
the
tomorrow.
hate, but I'm gonna drop the hate on you because I actually saw it in the theater, and it was like the first non-Batman DC movie or Superman movie I've ever seen. I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't that bad, but for me, Black Manta was actually worth the price of admission because at certain points he was legit evil, like no holds bars, like yeah, I'm doing what I got to do. Either stand with me or get the hell out of the way, or I'm gonna kill you. So
No, I mean, yeah, I mean Black Manta. I mean, he was the small saving grace, but I mean the whole thing about the baby and then Dolph Lundgren just like he had a stroke on set or something. Like I mean, this guy was drunk the entire time, or he suffered a stroke because he was.
So there's definitely been some
so
resentment.
bad.
I know that there was definitely resentment for the movie because I know Jason Momoa had said on record that he went into, was it Warner Brother, and he wrote a 60 to 70 page treatment for Aquaman 2, and he proposed it to them, and they liked it. They initially, like, he had an idea, this is what he wrote a treatment for. They liked it, but I guess when it got into production, they basically slowly just started writing out everything he did. Like most of everything that he apparently did ended up not in the movie. And obviously they went back for multiple reshoots. I think they went I think it was like 3 or 4 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then, Michael Keaton. And then Michael Keaton was supposed to be in it. Ben Affleck was supposed to. I mean, it was just a whole nonsense. So I'll look to see it, but I'm gonna try to stream it for free. But getting back to Black Manta, like I said, I pre-ordered the figure because I don't think we're gonna get a lot of figures from the movie. You probably get him. I'm banking on getting an Aquaman in the black suit because that was the original teased photo, and then his classic green and gold. When I say classic, it's like the Aquaman 1 figure. Just like an updated version, because I know that suit was used a little bit in the movie. So I really think that's all we're going to get and then call it a day. That's me personally. I'll play this video from MRC and then I'll shut up. Tired of hearing my own voice, and then I'll let you guys just kind of run through it. But this is MRC's video. Credit to him as always. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for these videos. I think a lot of people use his content, but they don't give him proper due. So MRC, you guys really should go over and drop him a subscription because he's doing great stuff with his, his videos from Secret Base and things like that. But I leave it up to you guys. I mean, I don't know if any of you saw this. I like watching these videos, but I'll let you guys run it through what your thoughts are on this figure. So CMB, if you want to run it down, and then we'll go through.
I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I really don't have any interest. But I can separate the character from the movie. For me, Black Manta has always been one of those villains that stood out in DC. So, and I'm all about the villains, so I'm definitely going to be adding Black Manta to the collection. So that's how I feel about it. I like Black Manta. I like the figure. I think it looks good. I like the fact with tridents, how you can separate them, and then you have the ability to put one in the back of him that's separated, one on each side, and then he can still hold the other trident. I do like that. So you're not left with saying, oh man, which trident do I want? Or do I have to put this trident away? You actually can have both tridents going on your display at the same time. And I like the battle damaged eyes. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, for me, I think, I mean, I use my rule is usually if I hate the movie, then I pass on the figures. But this is one of the rare exceptions. And I might have mentioned this before, is that because the first movie was so good and it was super solid, that this bends the rule a little bit, and not to mention it's a villain. So and it's one of the better DC villains that's actually been written and portrayed, even though I think Don can agree that I think you enjoyed the movie there, Don, but for me, but it was the best part of of Aquaman 2. And so like I mean I PO'd this one, and this gets added to my PO list. Unfortunately, it keeps growing and growing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to look solid beside the Aquaman I have.
Don, what do you say?
Don, what do you think?
I'm probably gonna pre-order it. At this point, I'm just waiting for some more rewards to stack into my account before I drop the pre-order for this. Now, obviously, I'll be waiting to see, if this goes to, low in stock or low pre-order numbers before I make my jump. Now, granted, I think it's an awesome figure, but is it an immediate pre-order figure for me? No. But also at the same time, I want it, but I'm not gonna, put all my ducks in a row for it right now. If that makes sense. It's like I'm watching it. I want to grab it, but say this thing goes out of, pre-order and I have to go start looking at secondary, third sources. Then at that point, it's like, okay, it'd be great if I got it and it would look great in my little DC Magic case I'm going to have. But if I unfortunately miss out, it'll stink, but I can live with it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like for the aesthetic, I love it. And for the character, like you're saying, he's probably one of the better actual like DC villains written. But again, it's not a core want, besides from my Batman and Superman from DC. I really don't want anybody else, So he's kind of going to be like that one-off weird villain that just happens to fit in with Batman and, with its Batman 2-pack with, Nightmare Batman and Black Suit Superman.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but I think also what's interesting about the character himself in the Aquaman movies is that he's in there both times. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of a supporting villain in the first movie, like a kind of a origin story, but didn't come to full pass. And now full-fledged. I mean, actually, I didn't mind that personally, especially when you knew we weren't going to get another Aquaman movie. So it was a 2-movie series and then it was done. I actually wasn't that upset about it. I kind of like the idea that they let the character kind of develop in the first one. He was like a secondary. He wasn't the main point to it. He was just kind of there in the background. And then they full-fledged made him, I'm assuming he's the main villain in the second one. I mean, I'm not giving anything away, but I kind of like that idea that he was in both movies to kind of give him his character a little more depth to it. I could be totally talking out of my ass right now because Sean might be looking at me like, wait till you see the movie. It's not like that at all.
He's like villain 1A. He's villain 1A.
There, fair enough. I'll accept that. He's villain 1A.
I did. The one thing I did enjoy about the movie though was Black Manta's little lackey guy. That
Agent Jimmy Choo.
Yeah, he was. He was a good counterpart for Black Manta there. It's like he was always trying to like sneak away or just try to not get caught and just not die. So that character was pretty funny.
So that was MRC's video. Like I said, it's a basic character. I think the price point's really good for what it's bringing to the table. I know some people were kind of disappointed that we didn't get a head sculpt with the figure. I'm not, just because it keeps the cost down. $255. I mean, this is from Sideshow, so $255 plus tax and shipping. You might be pushing more $300, but if you have some backup sites that offer free shipping or no tax, it's an unbelievable price. It's like pre-2020 pricing on some things. And so, it's got USB function. And like I said, I wouldn't, even if it came with a sculpt, I would display it with the helmet on anyway. So for me, I understand it's a cost cutting measure, most likely to keep the cost down on it, because it may or may not sell as much, but I think it's a good looking piece for the price. I mean, it's going to be nice for me personally. I don't have a lot of DC stuff, so I'm very much more welcoming of DC products, especially some villains. So for me, it checks 2 boxes.
I potentially see this being low batch and chase in the very near future, though.
Very possible, absolutely. I just want to jump into some comments real quick. Acknowledge some people that trickled in. Eric Kenke says it looks good. Have not to pre-order. And the man, the myth, watching Black Manta figure looks like he was just plucked out of the Legion of Doom. He'll have safe passage to my DC collection. You heard it there. Heard there yourself. Joshua Alvarez says no Ocean Master. Well, yet, I guess you could say. We don't know yet. I mean, we got him before Aquaman, so you never know what they're going to do.
Dirty prisoner hobo Ocean Master.
As Denobi said, this is our first Legion of Doom character.
There you go. The Thor 2941 says, "Greeting, Mr. Mom. Just drop by to say, stay positive, all as always. Positivity is the way to go."
Now, can I do a follow up just question? I want to segue, and you can kill this if you want, but I'm kind of curious about, like, because some of you guys are all about the villains and stuff, and I'm a hardcore, like, if I hate the movie, then I'm not going to get it. What's your thoughts on gore? Because I mean, that movie wasn't the greatest, and
I
I'm
missed
not
out
getting
on.
gore because it looks nothing like the comic gore. It looks like albino Christian Bale to me.
For me, I missed out on pre-ordering him.
oh, he's already waitlisted.
I just missed it because I had an issue with Sideshow where my account got locked for like 2 months, like during the summer. And when that happened, I missed out on a lot of stuff that went waitlist, and he was one of them. But then ultimately, I just kind of passed on it. I mean, I like it's a unique. I like adding unique pieces to my collections, like a Christian Bale kind of look. But I know a lot of people can complain about the jointed elbows and stuff. I could look past that. It's just, and then it's one of those things where when it came out, I was just kind of like, all right, I'm over it. Kind of like the thrill of it passed once I didn't. I just didn't do it for me. So. I mean, I could totally change my mind if one of my backup sites ends up getting like an extra one and the price is good. I could jump on it. I won't deny that, but he's no interest to me right now.
Yeah, me neither.
Just no interest in general.
I mean, Christian Bale, he played a really good villain in that movie. Going all crazy from the Necro Sword and everything, but just the look that they used as opposed to what they should have done from the comic, it just, to me, that's one of those figures I can't separate the character from the movie because the character doesn't even look anything like the comic. Like, there's no resemblance at all. Even the Necro Sword doesn't look like the Necro Sword. It looks like Excalibur.
Bring it back. So, do you guys think we're going to get an Aquaman?
100%.
Black suit, the stealth 100%. Black
like
suit.
Ryan said, remember when they teased that they had the license? They showed the silhouette of Jason Momoa in the black suit.
Yeah, 100%. Even if we get one Aquaman,
silhouette of Han Solo, Bespin Han.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
But remember, but
Bespin Han gets Sean so pissed off.
Yeah. And CNB has brought this up before. The third-party companies, they've already previewed their black suit Aquaman.
Yeah.
So
and he seemed to always have one step ahead of what Hot Toys is doing, so I wouldn't put it past. Let's see. Joshua Alvarez said day one pre-order for me. Just going through, say hello. My favorite influencer is live. Oh, I appreciate that. Sarcasm or not. Good evening, gentlemen. Well, Hot Toys 1/6 masterpiece. Hope we're doing well. Striker says, love this Black Manta, but the only way I would get anything from Aquaman line is if they give me what I really want, which is Amber Heard's Head's character, which is wishful thinking, but who knows? Well, they did a third-party version. Who was that did the third party that just came out that looks like garbage? It was a big catfish. It was the nightmare version of her, and it looked like literally a catfish.
Well, there's supposedly the new version, like the normal green one just came out, but people are already having to modify the head sculpt on that because
I saw that.
Poo.
Jeremy from Plastic Hero Collectibles. Hello, my favorite influencer is live. Thank you, Jeremy. I have to say that Jeremy, I bought because someone else made a comment in here. Chunker said, did I get the Johnny Depp figure? I did. I actually got him today. And I know I made a joke. I called out Jeremy last week saying, where's my DX06? And to his credit, he shipped it out on a Thursday, and I got it here today from Hong Kong to New Jersey. So from Thursday to Monday.
Also, you got the Pirates of the Caribbean Johnny Depp one from DX06?
You can't see. He's sitting right up. I'm trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah, I love that figure.
Yeah, it's the best unbox. I said it to see. I think I said to a few people, it's the best unboxing figure I've had to date in terms of opening it up. It's just it's mind blowing. I'm still not even like done unboxing it. I took it out to look at it, make sure, and it's mint, 100% mint. There's not a single flaking, no damage. It was mint in box. He got it from me brand new. It was mint. It was unbelievable. So Jeremy, thank you so much for that. Just going through some comments, like I said.
I got the one with the zombie shark face. Which one is that? Is that Stranger Tides or Dead? I can't remember. It was the last Johnny Depp.
That's the DX. That's the DX15. I went with
that's
the
one I
6.
got. That's the one
I went with the 6 with the wheel. So, but we're jumping over. Let's moving forward a little bit. So now we're going to be looking at something that I have to admit I have no interest in, and I don't mean it disrespectfully. It's just that
just bringing the hate just early.
No, hey, listen, man, Sean.
He's being honest that he doesn't.
I'm being honest right now. I'm not going to be another YouTuber over here.
It's Chuck Norris.
That's what I get. That's what I was talking earlier about this. I was like, if you don't want him in his missing in action outfit, you could literally modify and kit bash it and make him Walker Texas Ranger, You could put him in
Sidekicks.
you could put him in the all black uniform and do Delta Force, or you could put him in a civilian contractor outfit. And you get him from Expendables as Wolf,
Yep.
a one-man army, or like Don said, sidekicks. Put him in a Taekwondo outfit. Boom! There's so many things you could do with this to
All
get
right.
the Chuck Norris you want.
Put him on the
Alright,
motorcycle.
So what about this? So who is this? Kowalski Plastic? Is that who?
Caustic.
Yeah, so they did the
Caustic
fawns.
plastic.
I think they recently did the fawns, and then I think they also did a Dexter.
They did
Dexter,
the
right.
They did the Nosferatu Deluxe. They're doing the Bela Lugosi Dracula. They did John Wayne from True Grit. They're
Right.
doing
So there's
begins
three
with a T,
versions.
the cowboy movies like Terrence Hills. The cowboy movie that got famous where the guy walks in and orders the whole thing of beans and eats it in front of everybody.
So there's three. So it looks like there's three versions to this figure. I mean, getting into the weeds about what's different, but it looks like you got three versions of it. Just going with the most expensive one here just to see what's going on with it. But I mean, it looks like Chuck Norris. It looks cool to me. I won't be ignorant. I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, is this licensed figure Chuck Norris?
Yes.
Yes.
It's licensed. It even says on the box that they got the license from MGM.
Very nice. So what do you guys? I'll shut up because I'm just gonna sit here and pretend like I'll sit there and pretend. Oh yeah,
I'm
it looks
getting
good.
it, dude. I'm getting that exclusive deluxe because of the magnetic base, the barbed wire, all the kick-ass accessories, And like Don, when we first heard about this, like Don brought up the point that they were showing the M16A2 instead of the A1, and they went back and they changed it. Like if you look at it, it's now the M16A1. Don even said he checked the details. They even changed it to the M16A1 in the details. So, I mean, I grew up watching his movies as a kid. Like, I remember watching Missing in Action and Delta Force like almost damn near every weekend. It was just one of those cool war movies when I was a kid.
Hey,
Or, I
Lorian,
mean-
it's either Don or Hey DeLorean. I know you're both were adamant about wanting to talk about this. So
Oh yeah, like CMB says, it's like those are the movies that probably influenced, especially like me, and something to do probably with CMB. I'm actually joining the military too. Watching those movies at such a young age, you get that thing, and it's again, there are certain scenes in Missing in Action that are so iconic. Chuck Norris, he's rising up from the river and he's rocking the pig. The M60,
Yep.
and that's one of those scenes that like MGM puts in like all their anniversary trailers.
Yep, that slow motion, like you were talking about. When he comes
you get
out,
a
slow
and you get a
motion.
shirt if you order this online from them. They're giving you a T-shirt.
Yeah, but it's only a large, and it's from Europe, so a European large is a medium in the States. So,
Yeah.
I'll probably be giving it to my kid.
All right, so Sean, Hey DeLorean, I'm gonna throw it to you because Equan brought up a point here. He says, Star Ace, what do you expect? Licensed, but with worse than third-party sculpts. I know I could see Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
What would you give that sculpt realistically on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give it a 7.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll give it an
6.
8.5.
I give it
Really?
I'm gonna give it to an 8.5.
If you look at the photos of Chuck Norris from back when he did this movie, that looks like Chuck. That's when he had the big bushy mustache and beard.
Yep.
Well, here's the question though, because this looks super freaking expensive.
It is. It's €370, which
So
is
that's
like
about
400
shipping,
US.
about 400
like
US.
550.
So for 400, 550, I just think the sculpt could be better. That's my
Yeah,
only.
that's a premium price. You need to provide a premium product. Like I might get the lower end one. It's Chuck. I'm gonna have to get the lower end one, but I'm not gonna pay 400 plus and then shipping for the premium. Like that's like InArt prices. So like bring on the rooted hair and.
I'm just being subjective. I have no skin in the game, so I'm just.
Just so you know, if you buy this figure,
that's just way too much.
Destroyed. That's all I'm saying. If you buy this figure, this Chuck Norris figure is going to kill all your other figures. You come home, he's going to be standing on a pile of plastic.
You're going to come home and all your figures are knocked on the floor, and he's the only one standing there. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And then he's going to jump on your back and take you out.
It's not showing. I was trying to flip through. Like I'm trying to see. Like, is there die cast? Is there leather on this? I'm for the price point. I'm just trying to understand what I'm getting.
Yeah,
as an outsider looking in, I'm trying to understand what I'm getting for this very hefty price tag. That's what I'm trying to.
I mean, well, the thing is, the only leather.
It's hefty because it's we're doing the conversion from euro to dollar. So if you look at it just a dollar standpoint, like it's $370. You know, we just see it as more expensive because we have to convert from dollar, euro to dollar.
I'll take it at three. I'll take it then at face value, 370.
Yeah.
I just still think that it looks good, but I just argue for the price. Like, is it like that Kurt Cobain? Denobi says, ask yourself, are collectors really asking for a Chuck Norris figure?
Yes.
Yes.
There's lots of people.
I want a Walker.
I want Delta Force
I want-
Chuck Norris
I want Lone
on
Wolf
his
McQuade.
motorcycle with LEDs and smoke effects for launching
I
rockets.
wait, someone just talked about it. I do think a Walker Texas Ranger would be pretty badass.
No,
Say,
we
you
need
could-
more.
you could keep that
Even
in-
better than
in
that,
the
we need a
different
Walker or a Lone Wolf McQuade. That's
Hot
cool.
Toys 16 Masterpiece says, I'm interested in it. I remember watching the trilogy as a kid. Poor man's Rambo. He will go with my Commando, Rambo, my Cobra figure. There you go. Ekwan says Bruce Lee ripped Chuck Norris chest hair 2-pack.
That'll be
Chuck
the
is
artisan edition. It'll be real chest hair.
All I'm saying is I sometimes like these situations where I have no skin in the game and I'm playing ignorant because I'm just looking at it from because to be fair, how many times do we fanboy over this stuff? And it's like, you kind of got to put so I get it. It's appealing to all you guys, but like I'm as an outsider, like, is it worth the money? Because the first I saw the sculpt and I'm like, huh. I don't know. I'm just being honest. We subjectively criticize Hot Toys and they have high price values. It looks good, but I'm just wondering, like, damn, that's a lot of money. And like, it's not showing me anything that like, I just wonder, like, are the guns metal? Like, is there any, it doesn't look like there's any, I mean, the straps and everything, there's no leather there to be because it's all military straps. So I understand.
Yeah,
like,
there
all
would
that
be,
stuff.
like you were saying though. I mean, the web belt's going to be like that tough, like synthetic material. The
Canvas
duffel
bag,
bag's going to be that
canvas.
like, yeah, the canvas. Even the strap is. I mean, the only legitimate place that
here we
you
go.
could
Here we
possibly
go.
see leather is actually in its
Right there,
boots.
that's the exclusive right there. That's everything that comes with magnetic base. You get the barbed wire that goes around the
guys,
base.
the stand is magnetic.
Yeah, I don't really care about a magnetic stand. I just think it's cool. But I mean, if it's anything like InArt, I'm not looking forward to it. You get a lot of accessories. Is the price point a little high? Yes, it is. But I mean, they're based out in Italy, so I mean, what we're getting, like I said, if you overlook the conversion range, just look at 370. It is pricey, but a lot of companies are starting to raise their prices now because of a certain InArt.
No, listen, man, I get you. I didn't know about this company until literally I pulled it up on stream just now and I mispronounced the name on it. So
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go, which I love to learn about this stuff. I'm learning. Literally, you're watching me on the stream learn about this as we're going. So I have no problem whatsoever.
Yeah,
I was just looking at the exclusive edition to see if it calls out like what the goods are, what soft goods and stuff are made of. But it just telling? But it's a lot of accessories, so they're making up for it with a lot of stuff.
I mean, a good indication of what you're going to get is just look at the go back on their website and see their what the preview, the prototype that they were showing for the fawns, and then look at what they actually delivered.
Where's the font?
Dude, that fawns came out like
I think
trash.
Did Knight video on the fawns, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did a review.
Nosferatu though came out really good.
Yeah, good look. I mean, listen, they won't get
really good.
I mean, props to anyone who's going to get it, man. I don't,
I mean,
Yeah.
but also it also depends on how you're going to display it, because the funny thing is the base version comes with the M60 and the M72 grenade launcher, but it doesn't come with the M16. But also, it's also one of those things. Is an M16 potentially worth $60 to $70 when you can go to like Toy Anxiety or Monkey Depot? And you can get a period M16A1 from a Vietnam era figure, for $10, $15.
But for like, because I think there's 3 SKUs for this.
Exactly.
There is, yes.
So like each one adds more accessories.
I see what you mean. Like this is the base. This is the base version.
Yeah, but you don't get the canvas backpack. You don't get.
I see. Yeah, I see it.
You just get the figure and the M60, I believe. That's it.
I mean, 3 SKUs. What does Denobi say? I'll leave it up to him. Say multiple SKUs.
Oh, look at that! You get pay an extra.
Well, they're only
$100 to
making
get the barbed wire on the base.
The exclusive deluxe. They're only doing 200 of those.
Yeah.
So,
There you go. So let me know what you guys think about that. Like I said, Carlito says Chuck Norris doesn't use stunt doubles except for in the crying scenes. Well, there you go. So You guys are pretty excited. Any further thoughts that you guys have on this until we move on to some of the more juicier topics?
Wait till this gets closer to release.
So these are you can pre-order this right now, right? You can do this right now.
Pre-order's been live this morning.
So of the three guys, are you guys on the panel going to be pre-ordering this at least relatively, not today, but relatively soon?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the more lower end one.
I want the fully kitted Chuck.
There you go. So that's up there, guys. If you want to check that out, it's good to go. CMB, if you want to drop a link, can you drop a link in the chat?
For the Facebook thing to it, or
yeah, because this was off the cuff. If anyone's interested,
do the website.
Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate. Actually, I can drop it here. Won't be a problem. I'll drop it right here. I got you. But we will be moving on. There you go, guys. Oh, there you got it. Yep. So if anyone, we're gonna be moving on to some of the more spicier stuff, right? Whenever you say the word InArt, Jazz Inc., Toys Wonderland, things get spicy. So I wanted to bring this up. Like I said, I want to try to cover a little bit of everything, kind of be, just cover everything with a broad brush in terms of various topics. And the InArt, so a couple days ago, InArt kind of bombarded us with some photos. And, one of them, which I still think is phenomenal, but like I said, prototype's the final, you never know. But, these are photos taken from, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I used to saying Joker all the time, and I'm thinking of Heath Ledger. But it says, we'd love to introduce you to some upcoming release, Joker from InArt's Highest Grades. This is the first figure in our RH series, which means has a wider range of designs and more options for fans to explore and enjoy. So it's just going on. And then it says, we understand bullshit. We understand that many collectors are eagerly waiting details about Joker while still fine-tuning, enhancing its features. The information about this version, pricing, and pre-order date is not finalized. We appreciate your patience and support. Basically, bullshit. Anyway, so these photos, they look great. I personally have been wanting a licensed Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I know Joker is not everyone's favorite movie. I know this isn't everyone's favorite interpretation of the character. I find it hard, though. Even if you don't like that stuff, it's kind of hard to look at something and not say, hey, that looks really cool. It's okay. You're not going to buy it, but at least I think it looks really great. Now, I did pull up some photos because there is a little bit of, and we're going to get into the idea about perfection in 1/6 scale. I had this little banner here where I said, does perfection exist in 1/6 scale? Because Hot Toys come out and they get ripped apart all the time, and I'm not being a Hot Toys fanboy. I'm observing what I see, and this detail, that detail, this, and I always say, and I say this to all the time from Nate over at Geeking Out. Shout out to you, Nate. It's like perfection doesn't exist. Okay, it just doesn't. You're chasing something that's unobtainable, and for these companies to take a life-size character of any sort, an Iron Man, a Spider-Man, and to shrink it down to 1/6 scale and nail every single feature, it's just not realistic, right? It's just not possible. Sometimes they can nail, it just depends on the character. And so this is an example here. I was looking at this, and actually CMB, you and Sean brought it up. And, I was like, I didn't even notice it, because to me, I'm looking at this photo and even this, I'm like, it looks great, until it was pointed out backstage that his hairline's not accurate, at least from the movie. You can see here that his hairline is more straight across. It doesn't have that widow's peak that is so. Like I said, we only have 2 photos to go by of this particular Joker, so take it for what it is. But you can see here he has more of a widow's peak, where a lot more of the photos, it looks like his hairline is more straight going across his head. It's not as recessed as it is. So that's something that now that I see it, I can't unsee it.
Now, do you have the photo of Arthur Fleck?
I do. He's
not in makeup?
I do, because ironically, that's actually my more favorite version.
He's got the proper hairline there.
His hairline looks right there.
Oh, I can even see I can see though in this hairline, I can actually see. Look, you can kind of see where it's coming to that point again, though. It's not right as here. Pronounced.
It's tucked under the curl.
Yeah, it's not as pronounced, but you're seeing it because of the green is offsetting against the skin.
And also it's the angle of the photo. If you see this one's more dead on, more like eye level, you could see his hairline is more straight across. But then when you start angling the camera, you start getting that pitch. So it is definitely playing a little bit of tricks. I have no doubt that the green one, there it looks very, pronounced. That being said, though, I like it a lot, and I'm hearing rumors that this thing is going to go for pre-order very soon. Like, we're not talking months, we're talking like literally a few weeks that this thing very well could be going up for pre-order. And not giving too much away, but I did a little bit of digging, and from what I understand, I know one of the concerns people had is that obviously is going to be the price point. Like, this thing is supposed to be minimum $1,000 because of restrictions to get the license, things like that. If that's all true, like I said, Captain Kangaroo said that back when he was doing his walkthrough, and we'll talk about his ass in a little bit. So take it for what it is. But Captain Kangaroo, the Australian Nightmare, I have many names for, Voldemort. He said that pretty much. I believe he said in a video that it had to be at least a minimum threshold for them to even get the license. But I think that also one other rumor that came up was that there was going to be a cap on these. Like, they're going to make 500, they're going to make 1,000. From what I heard, and like I said, take it for what it is. The person I talked to about it said that there's no cap on it right now. So people were scrambling like, oh, there's only going to be 500 of these made, and where am I? As of right now, I'm being here that there's no actual cap on this figure. That being said, how many are going to dive in and pre-order it? Because I'm hearing this thing's a 3-pack at minimum $1,000, probably 1,500. Who's really jumping into the big, the deep end on this thing?
Yeah, it's going to be the same deal with the. Oh, sorry, C&B. Go ahead.
I was just asking, wouldn't it be a 4-pack if we're getting Arthur Fleck and then 3 versions of the Joker?
Technically not. So supposedly what was on display, the Arthur Fleck is the new one, but what was on display was the red coat, which you see here.
They did it like 3-way. Like,
they did it 3 ways, but 2 of them you could interchange the clothing. So you had the red suit with the Mari set, you had the bathroom version of him dancing, you had the clown version, but the clown version, and they're not showing the other figure. There's the hospital version. Supposedly, what was going to be, there was still some differences, but it was like 3 versions, 2 bodies, or three bodies, 4 versions. So you're not going to get physically the same amount of figures. You can interchange the clothes on 2 of them to decide which ones that you want. Like I said, we don't know a lot. It's just that I know that InArt's going to try to give you as much bang for your buck, like you're getting all this stuff, and then hit you with that price tag. So to be fair, we're kind of treading water with how much we actually know. As much as what I know right now is that minimum price point, and that supposedly there's no actual set quantity, so people aren't going to be running. Nevertheless,
I that scene where if it was Arthur Fleck in the white kind of like a smock there in the asylum scene where he's got the cigarette and just like,
that's a great one.
That would be a good
one. That'd be
and
super
then
cool.
Give him bloody shoes that you could swap out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I gotta say though,
to get thinner though. If you look at this, he was a lot more thinner in the movie.
Yeah, he seems a little chunkier there.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to happen because the thickness of the clothing that that you're working with in 1/6 scale. Like you can't get that clothing super, super thin to get where it hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. And then if you did do it, it would make the head look really big.
And then you look at the diorama, it looks like the diorama is playing around with a little bit of physical versus like a little bit not backdrop kind of thing. Like, it's playing on some some perspective there, where it looks like you got some physical steps, and then there's going to be some kind of diorama behind it, like either a stand. I don't know what it is, but they're playing with some kind of mixture of physical and backdrop to try to replicate those steps with a perspective issue. You can see there, they're trying to play with the perspective on it. Like I said, this is all, not final, but we're commenting on what we see. They put it up online, so we're going to.
Why would they use like Hot Toy stands for the front pieces, though? Those are flexible dynamic stands.
Which one are you talking about? The fully
like the ones in front, the 2 poles right in front of the flag.
They might be terrified that he's going to fall down the stairs.
Yep.
That's true.
They're trying to keep it from, falling forward. The stairs are probably magnetic.
But
Mr.
like
Mom,
I said, yeah.
Let me ask you the $1 million question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need another $1,000 Joker?
I don't even have a $1,000 Joker.
I don't want this $1,000 Joker.
The problem
does the community need another $1,000 Joker?
They don't need. They would want.
They say they want, but look, I want this figure. I'm not going to pay $1,000 for this figure.
No, me neither.
Well,
like Denobi said, Joker 2 is coming, so more than likely Hot Toys will probably get that license for Joker 2.
Like, if there's a solid $500 option, then yeah, okay, okay, you have my interest, but I'm yeah, after the 2-pack Joker one, it's just yeah, I'm not going down that road with InArts.
I mean, but here's the question though that deserves to be asked. For Joker, I thought it was a great different movie, but in terms of like just normal Batman versus Joker stuff, does this figure deserve to be $1,000 figure? Let's ask that. Would it, like InArt or any other company that's working on these Jokers, would they have been better pressed to ask for $1,000? And again, I'll just throw it out there and kind of lead into something else: $1,000 Jack Nicholson, rather than $1,000 Joaquin Phoenix, where that's
I think
not.
the thing about it, well, the problem is also with this is that no one's ever done it except for a bunch of third parties, that really kind of missed it, where people were kit bashing. I watched videos of Dean Knight that kit bashed like 4 different versions to get like the best version that was possible at the time. And so it's kind of hard because we don't know what the demand is because no one's ever made a licensed version of it. I mean, it looks fantastic. It's going to be one of those things where like how many people love the purple coat Joker, but we're trying to, InArt, I'm sorry, twisted your arm in buying that 2-pack, and everybody sold off the jail cell because they didn't want it, and that's what's going to happen with this. The only 2 desirable pieces I can see people wanting is obviously what's on screen here. That's number 1. And number 2, I think arguably could be this right here, because it's cool to have a Joaquin. I mean, I love Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. I like a lot of the stuff he does. I was very surprising for him to do the role, and he definitely immersed himself in it. Like I said, whether you like it or not, it's totally subjective at that point. But I would argue and say, though, I mean, the least favorite is right here for me. Least favorite.
I don't want to touch that.
Don't even want it. It looks weird. The scene was there for literally 45 seconds. It didn't garner any, and then this one, the bathroom scene was but I do like the way the hair is kind of disheveled and stuff. It's different, but it's
this isn't the bathroom scene. This is the cop car scene. So he's got the blood coming down from his nose.
No, this is the bathroom. This is when he was dancing in the bathroom after he shot the guys. This is him dancing in the bathroom with his eyes closed. That's why his eyes are closed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But I don't remember him having a bloody nose. From that scene, because look, there's blood coming.
Yeah, because they punched him in the face when he fell over.
That's right.
Yeah, in the train when they were all going. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's unique with the eyes closed. It's unique, but it's not my favorite of the 3. Like I said, I'm gonna be very like the red jacket's number 1, and then but like I said, InArt's gonna do the same thing. They're gonna package it up because supposedly, I keep that air quotes, they're being forced to do it at a certain price point, so they're gonna give the collector their bang for their buck. But it's going to be one of those interesting ones of like how many people are really going to go for it once they find out what the price is. And I don't know what the price is. I mean, if they were smart, I mean, would they raise the NR? Because I don't even think InArt does a set NRD on stuff. It's not like where it's a flat 20%. I think the NRD kind of varies depending on the figure. I can be wrong. I only pre-ordered 2 of them, so I don't really remember. But like, I almost wonder if they're even going to do a higher NRD to kind of weed out those that are interested versus those that are not.
Actually, the NRD switches between vendors.
That's what I was about to say, because when I had it on pre-order with Spec Fiction, and then I ordered one for my kid from 16 Outfitters, the NRD was completely different.
Yeah, I think Spec Fiction was cheaper.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but I also think at that point, like 16 Outfitters, them, generally being like third-party stuff, they were probably also buying their stuff maybe from Spec Fiction. Or something like that.
No, because they got theirs way before Spec Fiction did.
Oh, they did? Wow. Okay, then never mind.
So I just want to jump back through some of the comments, and then we're going to pull up something. So let's see. So Ekwan says, I wonder if Hot Toys can make 2 Joker figures, depending on if what InArt said is true about having to sell these at a high price. Like I said, one Hot Toys.
Who from InArt said it? Was it John?
I think.
So if it was John, I don't buy it.
Oh,
yep.
Mr.
You get a better answer.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hot Toys 16 Masterpiece says, for Hot Toys and other companies, a good goal would be it's not the perfection, your quality, but the direction, meaning hopefully they can continue to strive for innovative ways. Brian says, shots fired at the Australian Nightmare, or me calling him that. Joshua Alvarez says, I am down for a 3-pack no matter what. I'm getting it. Carlito, that hairline has been a hot button issue among some hardcore InArt supporters. It's been brought up to InArt. Well, we're gonna talk about what's been brought up to InArt or not. And nevertheless, Eric says, I like Phoenix over Ledger. Well, those are fighting words because a lot of people might disagree with you on that.
Blasphemy.
And
each Joker was a different iteration of the Jokers from the comics.
yeah, Jack Nicholson's the best.
The only one I don't think actually matters is Jared Leto's Joker. That's a fever dream and like a crack binge, all gone wrong.
Well, Big Doll Pound 1 with the classic woo to everyone in the chat. I hope you're doing great. I can't give you one because my voice will crack and I'll embarrass myself even more on stream. Uncarded Review says that Green Clown is the best of the bunch. And Hot Toys 16 says, no, it's not ironic. It's just a newer movie. Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger have more gravitas. Reeves and other lines that have been around for 10, 30 years, I would pay more for. This is too secular/new.
He's not wrong.
No, not wrong. Carlito says this should have been a 2-pack with different looks as an option. A 3-pack is overkill, especially at InArt's price. That is true, but they're going to package it up where we're giving you all this stuff and, you know, make it look like smoke.
Yeah, they're going to give you a whole bunch of accessories that nobody asked for just to try and make it look
well,
like
majority of the
you're getting
accessories
your bang
in the box anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
why sell a 2-pack when they can sell you 3 at triple the price?
There you go.
Exactly.
So now
a whole bunch of nonsensical accessories that nobody will use.
So now jumping into the second part of this, and I tried, guys, I'm poking the bear. Let me breathe because I'm poking the bear. But I had to bring this up. So
this is intermission. So if you guys need to go get popcorn, soda, right now is the chance.
The bullshit's
about 30. You got 30 seconds.
The bullshit's about to come out because we're going to do this and then lead into Toys Wonderland. So now this is where the shit talking starts. I saw this picture here, and guys,
bring the hate.
Yeah, I love collecting anything, all forms of it. I used to collect all the time. You know, Legos, McFarlane Sport. As long as I remember, this is what's really funny, guys. When people tell me how long you've been collecting for, it's kind of a double. It's like a double question. Like if you mean Hot Toys, early 2020. If you mean in general, from probably since I've been about 5 years old, collecting Lego sets. That's as far as that, you know. So it's kind of like how long you been collecting for. Well, it's like, what, you want my ID, like showing my proof, you know? It's like that kind of thing. And so, what I mean by that is, I never been one of those where it's like I try to be realistic as possible, and you know, a lot of things I say may get misinterpreted or things like that. But it goes back to what I said about how just perfection doesn't exist. And I remember just countless things with Hot Toys, like for example, the TMS Spider-Man, that comic book one, how that got friggin' roasted by people saying that it looked like shit. That it was one of my favorite figures that I have because I understood that it's not a direct incarnation of something, but a lot of people love it. And it just goes on. And, you know, people like Cobb Vanth, right? Hey, Lauren, you have Cobb Vanth, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think that was completely shit on for the wrong reasons. That's just me personally. When I opened it up, I actually love that figure. I actually one of my more favorite figures that I got. I will not lie about that.
Yeah, I'm super happy with Cobb.
Yeah, it just was one of those that and those who shit on it never even got the figure. So and I understand Hot Toys is the biggest player out there in 1/6 scale. They're making the most stuff. So with making the most stuff and being the most active, I say that like in a very correct term, they're the most active company. They're going to get the most shit, right? Compared to Jazz Inc. with the vehicles, compared to InArt, compared to other companies, Star Ace, they're the most active, so they're going to get the most shit. So good comes to bad. So now I stumbled over on here. Now I pre-ordered the Superman from InArt day one. 30 seconds into it going up on kit, I pre-ordered it because I saw it and I wanted it so bad. And so they posted these photos, which are, you know, they're mundane because InArt doesn't have a lot going on, right? So they got to string their clientele along, feed them breadcrumbs because they're not putting out any figures. So, you know, it is what it is. And I'm fine with that. If they're going to be slow and steady and put out great stuff, is what it is. So I saw these photos here and I was like, oh, cool. They're like behind the scenes production photos of Superman. I haven't seen anything else except for what we normally see. And, you know, they're going through the material and acting like they're doing stuff and all this, whatever. And then I went through the comments and I was like, holy shit. People are tearing this thing apart. Like well beyond like the blue's the wrong color. Okay, if the blue was the wrong color, I remember that was a big thing. Like, it's not the right blue. I remember the blue not being right, and the S logo wasn't the right shape. It looked like they kind of fixed that a little bit. But I'm not one of those sticklers where I'm sitting there with a microscope. I apologize up front for that if I'm not that person. But I'm not trying to highlight specific comments here. I'm just looking at the comments from the photos, and I'm going to brush over them because there's definitely some players in here that people are aware of, and I'm not going after any individual, but I'm just going through the comments. Oh, I forgot to like the photo because I did like the photo. But you had people drawn on there for the bicep, showing how the pattern should be on the bicep when the suit's on, and you had, you know, list breakdowns of all of the stuff: taller, wider neck, shoulders slightly high, belt reshape, like all the, like, breaking down. I mean, the dedication, by all means, I'm not criticizing it. People like drawing lines on, we know who that person is. So I'm not criticizing any individual, like I said, but like drawing lines on the suits, giving pattern line details, and over here suggesting to improve appearance of joints, I suggest covering it with silicone. Very detailed. Here, going over the patterns and like drawing, like, I'm like, holy shit, I don't even want the figure anymore, because like this just sucked the life out of it for me, to be honest with you. And there's people here applauding it, and there's like, you know, drawing line. I don't know about you guys. I was talking to a few other people about it, and I'm not going to name it, you know, but they're like, does it suck the life out of it kind of for you guys? Like when you see something up there, a product, and you're like, and I'm not saying that we have to accept it as is. Toy companies are not correct. This obviously proves it. InArt's like, apparently from what I see, this is not an accurate representation, but everyone also that was criticizing it were also like, well, I'm still going to get it anyway. I have it on order, so it doesn't matter. But if you can make those changes, that's great. To me, sometimes I feel like I'm reading it, it's like, damn, that just kind of brought me down a little bit, because I was excited to see these, and it's like, you're looking at all these comments, I'm like, all right, I'm clicking off this, because that's what social media does. Like, you know, you see something like this, it's exciting, and you're like, oh, it's cool, and then you see the comments, you're like, oh, fuck, and I just left.
Don't let strangers piss on your parade.
Oh, no one's pissing. I'm just looking at, but you get what I'm saying. You look at it and like, whatever, and you just move on. I'm just bringing it up in general, like, you know, it just proves to me that like there's just getting things to be perfect, and I just feel like people are chasing that, you know, chasing perfection. It doesn't exist. Yes, we're paying good money for these things, but nobody's perfect.
See, and again, I totally get what you're saying about it, but then again, from also the other perspective, these are things, again, just, I'm not getting this, I'm not touching this, so I, like you, I'm coming from an outside perspective. If this is supposed to be a premium company, then they need to do their best to match the aesthetics to the screen used uniform. And again, just from what I've seen from that suit versus the movie stills, it looks potentially like they did take some cheap cutouts or cop-outs. And again, if you're paying the money for a company that's supposed to be premium, at a minimum, like you're saying, you expect the color of the uniform to be right, in the basic shape of the S logo to be right, because without that S, it's just another costumed character in spandex. That S is literally the identity of this character, you know. So,
well, Carluto makes a pretty good point. I'll touch on this something, and then maybe Sean, I'll jump over to you about this. Is that, you know, Carluto says this is why Hot Toys doesn't engage with the community anymore. It's a slippery slope. You give a hand, and they take an arm. I mean, he's not wrong about that per se. It's different, I think, when if a actual error is acknowledged. Like, for example, the Tobey Maguire, right? They messed up the head sculpt. That was a blatant screw up for Hot Toys. And they just went and they fixed it. They didn't communicate it, but they fixed it. And, you know, I saw people, you know, saying that, you know, that kind of opens up an avenue where you're catering to those. That's a screw up. They screwed up and they fixed it. But I can kind of understand what Carlito's saying there, is that InArt very much engages a lot with the people, and kind of when is enough. I remember there was like the Aragorn, they kept revising and putting up photos like, hey, based on community feedback, we did this, we did this, we did this. And then people are going to say, well, where the hell's the damn figure? Well, they keep posting this stuff to try to get community feedback. At one point, when is enough enough?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword when you start opening up to the community, these manufacturers. Like you're going to have like because they're opened up, you're going to have these diehards fans that are just, it doesn't matter what they produce, it's the best ever, it's going to be loved and everything. And then because they talk so much, then it's going to bring out the extreme haters that's just going to nitpick everything to death because they want to be heard by the manufacturer. So, I mean, J&D hasn't produced anything in the 1/6 scale arena yet, but honestly, I think their approach is better. They did, when they were reached out and they, tried to get engaged in the community, they said, nah, no thanks.
Props to J&D. Because I saw that they were reached out multiple times for like live streams. They were like, "We're good, no thanks."
Yeah.
And then what happens? The CEO goes on his own YouTube channel and just puts everything up on his own YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that. I follow him, and the way that he does it is that you have to catch it live. So it goes live, and then he removes the stream. You can't watch the replay, so you literally have to watch him live, and then it goes off. And I remember he was watching one where he was putting up like this. Oh, you want to see the Joker? Oh, look, there's the Joker. Oh, you want to see that photo? Oh, look, he was just going like that, putting photos up on his phone, and people were like flipping out over it. And that's his publicity. And he was like, "See you guys later." That was it.
If Hot Toys decided to open up and start like really engaging with the community, it would just be a PR nightmare. Like, I mean, look. I mean, I complain and hate on stuff just as much as the next hater, but I kind of live, I like to think I live in the real world and to think like, you just don't, it's not worth it to engage with the community. I mean, I have, my line of work is, I have to deal, I have a lot of players that, play games and stuff that I design and stuff. And the last thing I do is communicate, is talk directly with them, or open up a thing where I let them know that, hey, I designed this and this, and then let them come at me. I know what players want just by the money they spend. That's all I need to know.
And the one thing I want to jump, and Sean, just one thing to piggyback off that, I also understand. And you notice, and I could be wrong, guys. Call me out. Say, hey, Ryan, you're full of shit. It's fine. But like you noticed in the beginning, John from InArt, put aside for the fact whether or not you got context out of his streams. Put that aside for a moment. Like, hey, you notice they're not doing as much of that anymore, right? They're not doing, like, I haven't seen him on a stream in quite a while. Actually, it's been months since he's been on the stream.
That's probably one of the smarter things that InArt.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And like I said, I'm not here to pick apart what the context of him being like, oh, he offers nothing to a stream or he's great. I'm not saying that. But the fact is, he's like totally radio silent. That's probably the best move that they actually made, is because he's like, you know what? Because all his streams were people saying, make this, make that, make this. It was just, and I think
and then they corner him into saying like, okay, what they're going to reveal. And then it's like, yeah, we're looking at DeLorean, and everybody's like, they're making a DeLorean. Oh my God, And
even Denovi said he was going to get. Even Denovi said he'd buy a DeLorean from InArt.
Yeah, and so it's just
I'm kidding, by the way.
Everyone's like, how come the DeLorean is not up for pre-order yet? And it's like, really?
I just think it's one of those where it's like it's almost like InArt. And like I said, once again, I'm a consumer because I have the Superman on pre-order, I have the InArt, the Batman on pre-order, and I have the Harry Potter on order. So like, I'm not just, oh, you're not. I have 3 figures on order. I'm hoping to get one of them so I can. They're figures that I actually want. And like I said, I have no problem with their strategy. It's just that I do notice that. And I remember the Aragorn. They got called out with the Aragorn a lot. That they were like, they kept going back like multiple times for community feedback. Like, oh, we made the updates to the belt, and then so we're like, all right, enough with that. Get the figure out. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, how many revisions are you going to keep going through? Like, and I get they're trying to be like people's champion in a way, like one for the people, but there's only so much of that. And this community really can take advantage of that stuff. And I think at the end of the day, perfection just doesn't exist. Yes, we're spending a lot of money on these things, but every company has proved they can't get things perfect. Jazz Inc.
There's no such thing as perfection.
Hot Toys, Jazz Inc., Blitzway, Star Ace, InArt, third party companies, Mars Toys, Present Toys. I mean, that's 7 right there. And I'm missing some.
Asmus Toys.
So everyone's gotten
just redid their Dante from Devil May Cry because of all the complaints they got. So now they're re-releasing Dante with all the fixed issues.
Yeah. So everyone gets them wrong, and I get it. People are spending money. They want as best of what they can get out of this stuff. I just think that sometimes I question if those really going hard, if this is the right hobby for you. I wonder that sometimes. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just that I see the kind of the same stuff over and over again. And I'm just like, you're not getting this out of these kind of companies. They, you know, and Sean, we're going to jump into like your kind of thing next. At some point, they're so far in production, they're not going to just like go back to point one because something's wrong. Like you're well past the point of no return that the ship has sailed. Like the figure is going to be what it is. They're not going to retool the pattern on the suit already because one person said it doesn't look right. I mean, they're sometimes past that point where you're going to get what they give you, buy it or not.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
People forget how long it actually takes from when they get it, start creating it, proto, and then final release. It takes a lot longer than what people think. It takes 2 to 3 years to get each product out.
Yep. And so minor changes can be maybe made, but yeah. And Jordan, you and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, and I say that jokingly, but you also say there, if you want something, then you go get custom. Yeah. You know, it's true. If you want something absolutely perfect the way that you want it, spend the money and get it custom made for you. You know, that's what it is. I get a lot of you guys. I thought about something the other day, and I brought it up in one of the chats, and I thought they made it, but maybe they never did. My wife actually asked me. She asked me if someone ever made, even third party. She called it one of those third party cheap companies. That's what she called it. She asked me, so I was like, "You're not wrong." If someone's ever made a third party Gwen Stacy, specifically Emma Stone from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I don't think anyone's actually done the head sculpt.
No.
Yeah, no one's ever done.
Yeah, no, there's never been a Gwen Stacy.
No, because my daughter.
One we've gotten is the Spider Gwen.
Yeah, because my daughter's name is Gwen Stacy, so she would have liked to had a Gwen Stacy figure. And I told her they made Hot Toys made the Spider-Verse one, and she's like, no, she would rather have had Gwen Stacy from Amazing Spider-Man 2. But that's an example. Like you want that, go tackle a custom and spend a couple $100, but you get the perfection that you want. You know, that's what it is. But I think we wrapped up. I don't think there was any InArt hate. I think we're just being a little subjective to it. So I think we were good about that. I want to backtrack if you guys don't mind, and then we're going to give, I want to jump into another maybe heated topic. I'm not really sure yet. The Toys Wonderland stuff is coming. I promise everybody. I'm trying to jump back because we had a lot of people actually jump into the live chat. I do appreciate all the support. FBJ is here saying, what up, John? The Everyday Collector, John, what's going on, man? I really appreciate you jumping in, saying what's up to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. The Collector number 1, I think he said people like to chase clouds. Nothing's perfect. Pay for it if you want or move on. There's many other 1/6 scale figures and companies to choose from. You're right. And every one of them don't make perfect stuff. That's the way it is. Cigars and Bacon saying hello to people. Carlita, a bunch of hellos, everybody. Bad Boy for Life saying, what's up, collectors? Hope you're doing well. Hey DeLorean throwing in his laughs there. Kaju Daddy saying, what did I miss? You might have just came in at the dinner. We went through the appetizer. Now I think the steak has come to the table, and we're going to eat the steak and then go to the dessert. So I think you're at the right point, Kaju. And Jordan Skinner saying, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Commander Green, hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Carlito, did I acknowledge this question? Let me see. Oh, my screen's acting up here. Carlito says, my question is, how many of these people tearing these figures apart are actually buying them? Valid point. But as I always say, well, to be fair, the internet, social media gives everyone a voice. Everyone's allowed to have one. Everyone's justified. But you're right. I question that as well. Either way. Costa from Pop Culture Living Room is in the house. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. I hope you were doing well. Like I said, a bunch of people in here. Jordan said, sorry, meant to say if you want something perfect or higher quality, then custom is the way to go. If your OCD/anal, this is not the best hobby for you. Once again, I don't disagree. So, Sean, jumping to our next topic, we have a couple more topics to go through. But like I said, this is the meat and potatoes of kind of how the stream was formulated. So I think every time I jokingly, when you and I talk and you hear the words of a Bespin Han Solo or an artisan Bespin Han Solo, you want to, your CPU starts to twitch. Yeah, your CPU starts to twitch, and you want to bring out the hate even more. Yeah. And then you and I started having a conversation about like character licenses and things like that. And we were talking about figures, and I think I brought up Han Solo was the main heated topic that you and I had a conversation about. And And so I also bring up this guy here, the Jack Nicholson. So anytime something happens with Star Wars, and we talk about figures we wish, I feel like the first thing someone says, well, just give me a Best Ben Han and we'll call it a day. Give me another Han Solo. I want one. Give me a Han Solo. I know I said to you guys behind stream, I really want to chase down this DX08, but I'm actually not going to because, they took it off secret base. It was on display at a couple, pop-up events and things. I'm not saying that means anything, but it is 35th anniversary, 40th anniversary of Batman 89. So you never know. We might get a Bat computer, might get something with Jack Nicholson. But then people say, well, Jack Nicholson controls the license. He wants too much money. They're not going to do it. So, Sean, I was hoping that you can kind of start us off. And as much as you're willing to divulge, of course, because it's getting into some of your personal stuff with work, so you divulge as much as you're willing to kind of shed light on this. But if you could kind of let us know, more in depth about it, because you had a great conversation, me and you did off stream, and I kind of want to bring it to everyone's attention and get some community feedback. So if you will.
Well, just to touch it, I will divulge that I work in the gaming industry, design games. The gaming industry is wide, so you guys can do some figuring out exactly what part of the industry I'm in. But I mean, I've worked with licenses such as Willy Wonka, Wizard of Oz. I've worked with Hasbro license. I've worked with DC license, and negotiated with Paramount and Universal. You name it, I've been a part of it. And if I didn't do it, then wasn't a part of it, then some of the coworkers I've had in the past was nose deep into it, and I'm sitting in the same room with these guys and hear all the woes and tales. Now that being said, first and foremost, let's clear up one thing. The number one thing that just gets me going.
Hang on a second. Let me pull it up because I got the image for you, which I think it's going to be right.
That's the one.
Could somebody do Peter Griffin?
Photo.
Somebody do Peter Griffin. What grinds my gears?
Now,
bring the hate.
Now, I didn't personally work with Lucasfilm, but I've had coworkers that have. That said, I'll tell you right now, there is no issues with Harrison Ford signing off his likeness for Han Solo. He has zero control. Read the Hatalorian lips. He has zero control over his likeness when it comes to Star Wars. Zero. It is owned outright by Lucasfilm. Period. They control it. Mr. Ford can walk in and say, I don't like it. And Lucasfilm will say, get out. He can't do nothing. He gets a royalty that was given to him by George. He didn't even have a royalty at the beginning. And then George gave it to Carrie, Mark, and Harrison there. So that said, anybody that wants to do that, Harris, like a Best Ben hand, they just got to get, just work out a deal with Lucasfilm. With that said, Hasbro has no problems making Han Solo figures. Same with Kenner. Same with Gentle Giant. So there's all these companies that do art prints that have no problem. Like all these, I can buy cups and I can buy, like swag and all this other stuff that has hundreds of different versions of Han Solo on it. No issues. And he didn't sign off on any of them. So let's circle back. When it comes to a Best Ben hand for Hot Toys, guess what? It comes down to one person only. The reason why
Kathleen Kennedy?
We don't have a Best Ben hand. Howard Chan. Period. That's it.
For the whole on Kimmel or Fallon or whatever.
Couldn't the same thing be said with Joaquin Phoenix Joker? Because everybody was saying, why didn't Hot Toys make it? Wasn't because there was an issue between China and the movie because they banned the Joker movie in all of China. Mm-hmm. And people were trying to say that it was, they wanted too much for likeness rights. But I mean, with you bringing this up, this makes me think that had nothing to do with Joaquin Phoenix or anything. It had to do with the studio itself, because if you go back, there was barely any merch for that movie.
No, there wasn't anything. There was
Yeah.
literally no merchandise for that
It was
movie.
like a hat and a hoodie. And that
That's
was it,
if,
type of
and
deal,
then
yeah.
all you had was when it came to 6 scale, it was literally just third party
There
garbage.
wasn't even any toys. Like there were no toys.
No, there was
nothing.
literally no
Like,
merchandise for the movie.
yeah.
There was
So
nothing.
the same thing could be said, right? I mean, I'm just asking you, Head of Lawrence. Is that like
Yeah.
the same kind of thing?
Well, like for newer movies, that's all negotiated by the actor, and so that movie, like Joker, for example, was made on a shoestring budget. Chances are, for them to get, for what they paid Jacqueline Phoenix and what was it? Todd Phillips was the director, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Todd Phillips
Yeah,
is the director.
and so like and what he got paid and everything and what he made, and for them the studio to get the butt out of their business, there was probably some things were negotiated where like, no, okay, we own our likenesses, we own the rights, so they need to sign off on it. Version Todd Phillips probably has to sign off on it. Like, now that's speculation, but chances are Jacqueline Phoenix does have an agreement where he does. I know for a fact that Tom Cruise does. He won't sign a movie
Yep.
unless he owns the likeness.
Yeah, he tried to sue Funko when they dropped the Tom Cruise figure.
Yeah, it's rare that an actor actually has that say, but sometimes the studios will bend a knee, and they'll bend it sometimes, like to get the actor cheaper. For instead of paying RDFJ 40 grand for this or 40 million for this movie, hey, we'll pay you 20 and you can control the likeness, and then he gets a bigger cut of the merchandise, and he has control. So things like that will happen. But I know, for example, for like Lucasfilm, for Star Wars, none of the actors own any of their likenesses. It's all controlled by Lucasfilm.
1-6 shooters in the house. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. He said with Phoenix, Warner Bros. Said the product would have to be a high price. He said, I believe around $1,000 in order to produce it. No kids' toys. Because I know there was a big controversy with that, and because I know there was, like I said, we're getting into the Phoenix situation, but that movie was very controversial because it was dealing with mental issues, things like that. So I also understand the portrayal that they didn't want to necessarily. I can understand like the whole story that you maybe didn't want to broadcast that movie because it's dealing with severe mental issues, things going on like that. And what toys are you going to really put out with that? You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to look like a bad image. But I'm not disagreeing with anything anyone's saying. I just think it could be absolutely all that stuff rolled around. Why Phoenix, we never got anything.
Well, China also banned the movie because they wanted Todd Phillips to edit out the riot and protest scenes. They said that would create dissidence among their citizens.
Yeah.
So, and then Todd Phillips said he wasn't editing nothing, and that they would have to take the movie as it was, and they said no, they banned it, and then it went on to still make $1 billion without China.
Mm-hmm.
Kaji Daddy says there is no Wong movie because the actor has played a Chinese political dissent in a movie, and we all know how China feels about that sort of thing. They still ban all Brad Pitt to this day. And he said Wong.
He ain't allowed.
He meant Wong figure. He says.
Also, I want to piggyback onto this too. Okay, Indiana Jones. Hey, we just got that old man Indy. Hey, wouldn't you think? Oh, that means Howard's cool with doing it, right? No, he had. That was clearly a figure that, and again, Harrison Ford does not own the likeness to Indiana Jones. That's he was not a very popular, well-known actor when it first Indiana Jones came out, and I mean he was popular, but like not like a superstar. So, but for example, he had like this was a separate license. I'm willing to bet for him to keep it, and so he had to make this or he'd lose it. He'd have to give it up.
Like the DeLorean with
so we get the crappiest version of Indy. Like, I mean, because I'll tell you right now, what would sell better? Like, I mean, tell me how wrong I am. Would this sell better or the young Indy version in the film at the beginning?
Oh, young Indy.
Yeah, exactly. Which one would you buy? Indy. Like, this guy should come with a wheelchair.
Sean, did you order this?
Did I order? Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
No, I
you have no temptation?
That's not my Indy. No way.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question, just real quick, and I only bring this up because Lucasfilm actually released a trailer for the video game, which looks 1,000 times better than the movie. Yep. So, do you think the potential as far as getting an actual young Indy, they would look to the video game? Because would that license possibly be tied with this overall as a complete production license for
yes and
multiple
no.
IPs.
And if you look at it, it's actually I believe it's Lucas Games, not Lucas Films.
Yeah, it's Lucas Games.
All right, so there you
Okay.
go. That's good. That's going to be an entirely separate license. So chances are we would. I'm willing to bet we probably will get figures from that video game, but Hot Toys will have to buy the license for that. And if they buy the license for it, they're going to be required to put out at least one figure. And so, but if they don't buy it, you're going to see somebody else scoop it up. Like chances are, like, because I mean, like right now, like you telling me that, like, okay, Bestman hand would sell, Return of the Jedi hand would sell, even a reissue 2.0 of New Hope hand would sell big time. And then now you have like, how come Hot Toys hasn't released, Raiders of the, another 2.0 Raiders of the Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, but J&D, they just recently put out an indie 1/3 scale.
Didn't they do the 2-pack statue with him and
Yep.
Sean Connery?
Him and his
Yeah,
dad. Yep, him and his dad.
So it has
Henry
nothing
Jones
to
Sr. and Henry Jones Jr.
So it has nothing to do with Harrison Ford saying, yes, I like this likeness and sign off on it. No, it has nothing to do with it. That's owned by Lucasfilm. And so, but for this special version here, it was make it or lose it for Howard Chan. And so, but for that video game, he's going to have to buy a separate license because that's under Lucas Games, not Lucasfilms.
Yeah, and
So,
Machine Games. Machine Games
real-
is the ones that are making it.
Hang on, Don.
They got
Real-
the license through Lucas.
Real quick, well, I love the conversation going on. I just want to jump back in and acknowledge the people in the chat real fast because I got some shit for that last week, and I do see the comments trickling in. I say that as a joke, but L Walker, NW Collector, saying hello to everybody. I hope you're doing well this Monday night. Fabs Figures in the house. What's going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. He said to hit that thumbs up. There's 70 plus watching. I do appreciate that as well. Kaji Daddy says Lucasfilm most likely pushed license holders to make it or lose it. Kaji Daddy said, just as Hada Laurent, just confirming basically what you said, Sean.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Trevor from 16 Shooter once again says, I agree with the likeness rights. Ford doesn't have control for early Star Wars. They already made a proto, although for Leia backgrounds, strange they didn't produce it. And then he said,
okay, just to hop in really quick there.
Yeah.
That's true. Like now, whether if he has he might have control of the likeness for the Disney prequels. So he might have likeness rights for that.
Now let me ask you a question. Obviously, I know it's a different package deal. And then Donna, you jump back in because I know I stopped you at a moment. Like, do you think? And I know that I heard, like I said, I'm very ignorant. So like I said, I'm listening more than I am trying to talk on this subject because I know very little. But like, I know a big thing with like Disney. Like, if you get signed on with Disney, you're basically signing on the whole kit and caboodle, multiple movies. They basically, like, I understand, package it all together. It's not like where you get a negotiation. It's like you sign on for a role. It's a multi-movie deal with all this stuff. And so like he's signed on to do Thunderbolt Ross, is he not? So
Yeah.
like you think that that's another chance? I mean, for the fact that he I don't say he caved, but he signed on to a Marvel property or a Marvel IP.
He's not. He won't. They won't give him the option of.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether or not people would want a Harrison Ford Thunderbolt Ross figure, totally different subject. Like that's a different question. But the fact that he signed on to that and knowing Disney's MO, like we want everything, they probably have the right to make a figure of him if they wanted, because he probably
they would. And chances are, if Howard does, if he does happen to do it, I'll guarantee it'll be the version of the Hulk, not like the Bruce Banner kind of version.
I got you.
The General Ross version of him in a uniform.
Yeah.
It is like, look, like here's the funny thing: if Howard start pumping out a bunch of Harrison Ford figures from Indy and Star Wars, there's probably going to be something like there's probably a run on Hot Toys where they're hurting. Because he definitely has a hate on for him, because he's just pissing away money
and a lot of opportunities.
Because I mean, just look at this. I mean, like look at some of the figures that were released over the past year, 2 years, and you're telling me that those are more important than an Indy or Harrison or Han Solo. Like, I mean, we've had some junk figures.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I go through, if you go through Hot Toys, you jump back to the beginning, and like you said, you look at all the pre-orders for Hot Toys that we have. Harrison Ford would supersede probably almost every figure. No, realistically, pre-release. coming soon. I mean, if you look at all
95%
this
of them at minimum, yeah.
right? He would supersede. I don't see a figure on here. Honestly, forget this. I don't see a figure on here that would probably supersede a Harrison Ford of any kind.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see anything.
Return of the Jedi Vader for me. That's like it.
So you're saying that you would take a Return of the Jedi Vader over a Han Solo of either an Empire or Return of the Jedi, Don?
Again, the Return of the Jedi, though, is a different figure. Are we talking like normal, he's on Tatooine, or are we talking like General Solo when he's...
I mean, we're getting into the weeds on it, but if you had we're getting into the weeds on it, but like if you had a Han Solo from either or over, you know...
What are you going to pick, a Han Solo over Spider-Punk, or
he's going to pick one
or
the Thor Deluxe version? Oh, geez, give me that.
I want the Mantis
dog and in Raccoon there.
There's honestly nothing. There's honestly nothing really here that I would say that would rival that. But real quick,
give me another Ant-Man over in Indiana Jones
with the chiclet smile.
1/6 Shooter says InArt could potentially get the indie license. I
also heard, and chances are, if they did, it will be the video game version.
I also heard J&D as well, potentially down the road.
Well, J&D does have the license
for the 1/6 scale figure. I don't know if that's the same
scale. I don't know if they got it for 1/6, but if they did, man, if I was J&D, I'd be pumping out the 1/6 scale indies right away.
Keith Lee
that could have
says
been their first figure. They should have announced Indy and his dad as 6 scale figures.
Unbelievable. Keith Lee says even in peeps, let's bring the hate. Well, the hate alert's up. That's a new thing to the program, ladies and gentlemen. When the hate is up, I don't believe Sean has his own hate banner yet. So the hate alert is up. I wish I could play.
We need to have like a flaming background on in the back.
I do. I'm gonna get a meme. I'm gonna record a meme of something with hate and play that.
No, you need a video game progress bar where it fills up with the hate, and then when he can go a special rant.
No, but guys, collectors,
players ball from
Chicago. Well, real quick, Rusty Bronco says,
screams, hate.
Well, let's see. Rusty Bronco says, people have to think. Do you think a studio would let an actor own the rights? The actor could portray the character when they wanted. That's bad business.
Exactly.
And then he goes on to say,
depends on who it is, though.
Well, to piggyback on that,
it is.
He says also studios sign talent to several multi, basically movie deals at a time. Even ones not named. You see interviews where actors passed on roles because they had a contract to do another movie at another studio.
Now imagine back in the day, see, this is one of the reasons why Tom Cruise passed on Iron Man. He had to give up his likeness.
Yeah, and he also didn't want to be.
And so, they're going to pass on Tom Cruise because the money is going to be at the toys.
Well, here's a question for you: this may not even have anything to do, but another point, like what kind of Rusty was talking about, how actors have to pass. That was also the reason why Peter Weller had to skip on RoboCop 3 because he was contractually obligated to another movie. But then I think it's interesting. Then we still got his likeness for the Hot Toy figure. That may not mean anything, actually. It might just mean they had the likeness. But I'm saying is like when people the RoboCop 3 figure has Peter Weller's faceplate on it, but he never portrayed the role because he was contractually obligated to another movie, so he couldn't reprise the role of RoboCop. But yet for collectors, we got the Peter. I mean, that may mean nothing. I just talked out of my ass when I said that.
Well, I know, but okay. So the best example. So the original MCU Scarlet Witch was not. I mean, not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow was not Scarlett Johansson. It was originally Emily Blunt.
Yes, which I'm very upset about. I'm very upset about that actually because she was contracted.
Emily Blunt was signed in, sealed, delivered.
Yes. Very upset about
paperwork done, dried for her to be Black Widow, and Scarlett Johansson was the second choice.
Don't be hating on ScarJo.
I know.
What I'm saying is though,
she's a hottie.
Then a little movie called Oliver's Travels with Jack Black, which Emily Blunt was contractually obligated to star. So that company, because once they found out she was signed to Black Widow, they pulled her to do that movie. And then at that point, Marvel's like, we can't do, so we have to go to the second one. So Marvel at that point enacted a clause to terminate the contract.
Well,
before we jump on, I just want to tell the community there and fellow collectors and everything. Look, guys, there's a lot of people that they'll say like, "Hey, Bestman Hand's coming up," or this. I believe this 40th anniversary thing. Don't believe anything. And I've been in some chats where some people sold their Han and Chewie 2-pack, and because they were expecting the around Christmas time that hey, they said it was going to drop. It must be ready, so I need to sell now so I don't lose any money because the price will decrease. Guys, do not believe anything anyone tells you that Bestman Hand is going to get released.
What about
until
Artisan?
it actually gets released. They don't know. They're making it up. They're guessing. They're pulling from their ass. It's not true. Period. And I hate it. I really hate it that some people lost out and lost some of their collection based because, like, you know, they were led to believe that Bestman Hand was just around the corner. So I mean, that's just bad. It's not good for the community.
No, and that's something to piggyback on because you and I had conversations about that. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we're on here streaming, talking about stuff. I hope, you know, I stopped streaming a few months back because I just felt like, you know, there wasn't a lot of sustenance to what I was doing. It was just more like just sitting here, just bullshitting online for a few hours and enjoying. I absolutely came back to this. This is my third stream back because I wanted to try to offer sustenance to something. And if one person takes something away that is actually, you know, this is fun for us, right? I haven't streamed with these guys in a while. I mean, for those in the live chat, I haven't talked to Don in a while. CMB, you know, Sean, we're talking like every day now. But like to see these guys on camera, to have fun, to talk about something that we like, this is what it is. But I do also want there to be sustenance to this because, you know, someone said before, calling me an influencer, calling us influencers. There are people that are influencing people's decisions either directly or indirectly by saying something over and over again. I'm not picking on any one person, but just remember, that's why I'm doing these streams, because you have there's a lot of experience here between not even myself, Sean, Don, in CMB. They've been doing this longer than I have. And those in the live chat, you know, I see people out there that are jumping in, offering, you know, Trevor 1-6 shooter. There's other people out there that are offering Kaju Daddy. There's people out there that are offering Commander Green, that are offering a lot of, you know, insight. And so we're just trying to have a real positive, you know, I don't know if you were positive, but a really engaging conversation. And just like I said, Sean's words really, it did mean a lot because we had multiple conversations about that. Like you were genuinely pissed off about that because I know it's one thing to talk about it over and over again, but when there's people that are actually manipulating their collections over word of mouth that something might be happening, that is major influence. It really is. It really is major influence. And so that's why I felt I wanted to address that tonight and kind of share your insight of where you're coming from, because you're not someone just talking out of your ass like, oh, you're offering some context to the situation. And thank you to the live chat for also jumping into that as well. I really do appreciate that. But it was important to have this talked about because I hear this all the time. And I bring up this picture again because I hear this one too. And I touched on it, which was the Jack Nicholson. I feel like Jack Nicholson and Han Solo are the two biggest ones that I hear about.
And again, everybody, don't sell this. If you have it, don't sell it thinking that it's going to be the next artisan like figure that Hot Toys announced. Nobody knows. Nobody has the inside track and knows for sure that this is going to happen. This chance, I mean, hell, I would love it. And I'm on record saying like, man, that would be a hell of a figure if this was the next DX. If it was the next, it's like nobody's saying this is coming. We don't know. Nobody knows.
We're hoping.
Hope is very different than guessing and being
hoping and saying it's gonna happen are two different things.
Exactly.
We're trying to have faith.
Now, can I just jump in real quick? So now, if you're like, again, Nicholson's contract situation is very different from what like Hayden Loring was saying. I can't remember the exact specifics, but apparently part of Nicholson's deal on the back end, not only did he get points, Nicholson actually got a percentage of the toy sales.
He did.
No, yeah.
So I don't know if he has his likeness rights.
He got paid less up front and got more on the back end.
So, but if
wasn't it you that revealed to us? I think it was through Carl that like Nicholson worked it in his contract that all the movie posters had to have his name first.
No, top billing. Yeah, he got back end and he wanted to have top billing.
Yeah.
So if there's any person that we want to have a figure of that actually has a vested financial interest for it to come out, it's actually Jack Nicholson. Because if this 2.0 comes out, he gets paid for it coming out directly. Whereas Harrison Ford, he's going to get a small royalty, but Nicholson actually gets a true percentage of the sale. So,
well, that's why I had said at the beginning of this is that, you know, I had the Mars Toys version of this and I got rid of it because I didn't like the overall look of the figure after a while. And this is one that, you know, Jeremy, if you're out there listening, I was thinking about coming to you for this one as well, but I actually held back on asking about it because I'm one of those. Oh, well, it's 35th anniversary of. I keep saying 35 or 40. It's either 35 or 40. I think
it's
of
the
Batman.
40th anniversary.
I think it's 40th.
Yeah, because I keep getting that ad on Facebook about.
Yeah, didn't this come out?
It came out. Well, it came out in 80. It came out in 89. So it's what it is.
What am I thinking? Okay. I'm thinking,
but the thing is, though, for this one, though, Hot Toys has kind of stoked the fires themselves because look at the 89 Batman base. It's the church scene base where he had the final fight. So Hot Toys isn't doing themselves any favor as far as
no,
you know,
and you know the worst thing I say about the community and the collectors is that, you know, that when Hot Toys leaves it where they put the tinfoil hat on, it just makes things dangerous, you know, because you start saying that. I only said because it's the 35th anniversary, maybe something will happen. Who knows, guys? We might get the back computer, and that's all it is, because they teased that last year behind Batman, and they might say, "Hey, there you go," and just coincidence it's this year. And this may never happen. It's okay.
We get all excited around anniversaries, and let me tell you, Howard the Honey Badger don't give a crap.
No,
he don't care about no anniversary. Last anniversary, I remember that Star Wars one that we dropped. He dropped Marvel figures. That's how much he cares about anniversaries.
That is very true. How I say it nicely, he reset people's expectations very quickly with 40th anniversary Star Wars. Not saying you won't see those figures maybe in another few years, but expecting them at a certain time frame, he reset that expectation quite quickly in a matter of a few months of not getting them. I mean, that is what it is. But just to jump back into some of the comments here, L. Walker says, I don't sell any of my figures because I've worked too hard and paid too much money for them. LOL.
Agreed.
That's agreed.
That's same with me. I've never sold a figure.
No,
me neither.
Absolutely. And if you sell them, you're going to take a loss in this market. So it's like, you know, it is what it is.
Kaji Daddy says figures away rather than taking the loss.
Hey, C&B's got 3 of mine because I did that. So, I mean,
hey, Durable Detonator has 1. Oh, he actually has 2.
Thank you.
Kaji Daddy says, we've been in this game for a long time and seen a lot of, you know, when it comes to Hot Toys, all we know is that there's no rhyme or reason for what they do. Hey, listen, if that is, enjoy the ride, you know what I mean? Like for me, just enjoy the ride, enjoy what's coming out. I'm not saying you got to love everything. We might get a drop tonight that's just like, what is this nonsense? I don't even care about this, but you know what? I'm still excited about it. I stopped hoping for stuff, and just when things come, it is what it is.
I got more hopes for third party actually doing it best in hand than anybody else.
Oh, there you go. So
like,
how are we doing on bringing the hate here? Do I keep the banner up? Because I think we're going to move into the next topic, which I'm going to put this up real fast for those who are watching. Toys Wonderland on the run. So
we need wigwams. We need wigwams.
Change the banner to bad boys. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
What you gonna do when the HK government is looking for you?
I'll start this off by saying, again.
No. We're talking that this is now Toys Wonderland is now being searched for by agencies of the Hong Kong regional government.
Hey, whoa. Let's back this up real fast. Rusty Bronco says, I know a guy who burns his boxes so he can never sell them. To be fair,
was the clamp still in there, really?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. How about Mr. Mom?
On that note, I think that's a perfect segue for Mr. Mom there.
No, I burned the Wolverine box, but I left the clamp in the box. So it burned in Wolverine box. I was watching
this. He was like, sorry, man, I can't send you this box. I needed kindling or something like that. I was like, okay.
Anyway, so this came up today, and you know, like I said, developing situation, nothing may come of it. Who knows? But the fact is, you may not see. What I'm trying to do with my stream is cover all aspects of the community, figures, you know, releases, news, and stuff. Because at the end of the day, this is an important topic for me because of, well, we'll get into it why. But this was kind of developing. Let me pull this screen up real fast. So I'm going to start it and for those watching this right now, I mean, Sean has no idea what's going on, so he's gonna find out in like live time what's going on. I know some of it, and then Don and CMB can kind of pick up where we left off, or where I filled in the gap. So this was posted today. If you can, it's hard to read, whatever it is. This is on the 6-scale survival guide. I don't know if this was posted in multiple groups because I'm not in every single Facebook group. So a lot of the stuff does get passed around, especially TW. It gets bombed everywhere. Basically, this one's saying, needless to say, Toys Wonderland has been super shady with customer orders. I also know that I have been way too patient with them. And so this is a picture that was posted. If you guys can see this, let me try to blow it up. But it's basically like an email, and it says, "Dear sir, hi. I hope this email finds you and your loved ones in great health and spirits." Odd. Thank you very much for your email, your patience. I would like to sincerely apologize for the delay in response to your message. Your order number blacked out has been dispatched from our warehouse. However, we have encountered a request for additional documentation from the courier, which has been provided. We expect the shipment to be released and to commence its journey to you by the start of early February. I deeply regret any inconvenience this delay and late communication may have caused you. Please be assured that we have dedicated to your complete satisfaction and working, da-da-da. So it's basically one of those Toys Wonderland, like, hey, what's going on for this, right, kind of thing. Yep. And so
it's a blanket statement.
Digging through, and there's multiple posts about this. People are commenting, and then Monica said something here. He says, "They're done, bro. They emptied their HK office. Best of luck." And then this was posted, and then this says, this is another one. Consumer Counsel with an open case. We have encountered an issue with delivering a letter to Toys Wonderland registered office as it was returned by the post office, indicating that the recipient has moved out. As previously mentioned, it is challenging for us to proceed with the reconciliation process if Toys Wonderland does not respond to our attempts. Therefore, we suggest that you consider reporting this matter to the Customs and Excise Department for investigation, if I can talk, if you believe there may have been involved unfair trade purchases, da-da-da-da. So Don's like clampering at the bits over here. So Don, I'm going to take it from you and then CMB piggyback off this. Whether or not they actually closed up, I don't think that they're done, so to speak. Obviously, stuff like this has happened. They're kind of like the Titanic, where they get hit and then the ship's still staying afloat. But Don, why don't you take over here?
All right. So I tried to find the post. I couldn't find it again, but I specifically remember seeing within the last 48 hours other posts where people have been told by TW that they're moving to a new location and they'll physically have a new office in February. So that's
and there'll be a new name.
Yeah,
there'll be a new name.
Well, right here it says, "Will commence its journey to you by the start of early February."
But no, in a different post, people are saying
I saw that.
Told by, so that they're going to be reporting from a new office. So basically, this almost sounds like they're going to take their money. They're now basically avoiding any, like the basic regulatory processes, like you have consumer affairs here or any other agency. And now those smaller agencies are basically saying, okay, this is to the point you're going to have to bring this to the Hong Kong, like customs of agency, which is now you're going into the level of the Hong Kong government, which in turn is now part of another mainland government.
No, if you read the thing, it says they're saying that you should contact your customs. So
my bad.
So each person needs to contact the customs in their country.
I misread it. I thought it said for like the Hong Kong regional customs.
No, because they've done what they can do. They sent them a letter. They went to the office. Obviously, the office was vacant because they left. Toys Wonderland pretty much took everybody's money and ran, and they're going to use that money to open up shop again under a new name.
So here's a question. So if I was going to pay, and I've never purchased from Toys Wonderland just because I'm kind of dialed into the community and I knew better than to ever purchase from these guys. But if you purchased from Toys Wonderland, is it do they take credit cards directly, or you have to only go through PayPal?
They take credit cards.
Both. They take credit cards and PayPal.
All right, but they've also been knocked off PayPal at least 5 to 6 times due to the amount of chargebacks.
Okay, so if for all you guys are and out here that have paid with their credit card, call your credit card company.
It's too late.
It's too late, even after all this time. Like how? Because like usually
some of these things we're talking. 6
with
to
credit
18
card
months.
companies, with credit card companies and your bank, you only get a 6-month window. If the purchase goes longer than 6 months, there's nothing they can do anymore. They can't credit it back to you.
All right. Well, to all those in the community, if you purchased from Toys Wonderland in the last 6 months, I would highly recommend you calling your credit card company.
Well,
whoever you paid with, if you paid with PayPal, contact PayPal. Let them know, because PayPal is well aware of the shady practice that Toys Wonderland does. And usually when you explain to them, hey, it was Toys Wonderland, I've heard that they've had problems with you before. Within like 48 hours, usually the Resolution Center will give you your money back, just because they're well aware of Toys Wonderland. Because I got done dirty by Toys Wonderland on an item. I contacted PayPal, told them, hey, it's Toys Wonderland. I've heard that you guys have dealt with them. You've cut ties with them numerous times before. This is my situation. I literally got an email saying, we are well aware of Toys Wonderland. You're not the first customer to have this. Your resolution, your case will be, or your claim will be fixed in 24 to 48 hours. And in 48 hours, I have my money back, no questions asked.
I just went on their website right now. Obviously, it's still up and running. I wasn't expecting the website to be shut down. And I just threw something in a cart as a guest. And these are the forms of payment that are available. So it doesn't, I mean, I'm not going any further than this. So if someone else is further can want to, contradict what I'm saying here, it looks like credit card, like PayPal's not an option unless I have to log in, which I'm not doing that on stream.
No, it's not.
No,
it's
Skype. Not, because they got pulled.
Yeah, so
no, was it Swipe or whatever, the processing company?
Yeah, it was like a third party thing.
Well, look, they're not even
so they're actually
like
kicked off that company too, because they actually potentially owe Swipe so much money. They're in the negative now that when people are going through the processing to get refunds, Swipe's saying, we can't give you one because they're so in the negative.
Yep. Yeah,
so I mean, potentially we're talking tens of thousands to maybe six figures worth of debt.
I saw those posts too, what Don's talking about. There was people contacted and they're saying, hey, look, we're well aware, but we can't really do anything because Toys Wonderland's account is actually negative in the tens of thousands of dollars. And until they pay it back, we can't refund your money.
Remember there was people reaching out to them for money. Wasn't like Jackson June and stuff like that like had stuff custom done that like couldn't get contact. I remember there was like vendors that like did work for them that like people like sold through and like couldn't get I forget who it was, but there was like definitely people that did like custom stuff for them or sold accessories and stuff like that sold through Toys Wonderland that couldn't even get a hold of them because they weren't paying their bills
like
or something like that.
Toys Wonderland pretty much took everybody's money and ran. Like this is they're gone. Like they're gonna come back as another company, and obviously it'll be a new name, so that way people can't associate them with Toys Wonderland. But then they're just gonna start the same scheme where they're gonna start off as a good company. Everybody loves them. They get their figures for a lot cheaper. They get them fast, and once they build that up, then they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna start taking people's money, and then they're gonna run again.
Yeah, but so who are they going to get this time to be their front man? I mean, it needs to be addressed.
Trust me, there's probably going to be plenty of people foaming at the mouth, wanting to get that sponsorship.
I mean, because ultimately what Toys Wonderland turned into was a giant Ponzi scheme. Now, again, I've ordered a few figures from Toys Wonderland. And again, this was years ago, and everything was fine. But once they, like CMB was saying, once they've established their reputation, once, everything started readjusting post-pandemic, you almost want to call it, the stimulus effect wasn't in play anymore. When prices started to go up and Sideshow started to make their moves, at that point, Hot Toys kind of like, okay, this is the time we need to start doing different things, because their revenue stream probably was going down because A, they couldn't get the figures, or B, if they could get the figures, Sideshow was effectively, locking them out from dropping the prices as low as they were, in the lockdown period. But I mean, this is a giant Ponzi scheme. They take your money, and if they had a figure, great. If not, they'd send, someone potentially to look for it for the cheapest available price. And whether it be a week or 6 months, you're out your money, but it was literally a Ponzi scheme.
I was just reading what Monica said here. It says, yeah, they're done. They emptied their HK office. Someone said, is that confirmed? Who's writing these emails? He said, yep, it's been confirmed. I remember it was confirmed by Hong Kong Customer Protection Authority, who looked into the matter after someone took the matter up to them, and they replied back by saying they went to the TW office and found it vacated.
That's funny. Didn't they just release it? Didn't they release a video or something about?
It was like an AI generated
yeah.
video.
Yeah, it looked like an AI generated thing. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like that one documentary where that guy goes to North Korea and they take him to the fake computer lab, and there's like one working computer and everybody else is just staring at their monitors. It's not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm like I said, guys, those in there watching, you know, we're just looking at what we see and just kind of commenting, just kind of bring this to the attention. I feel like a lot of the people that are watching this are kind of like veteran watchers. Like a lot of people, I mean, I've seen people in here commenting saying it's too late. You know, people are kind of agreeing, saying that you're still, you know, rule number one, don't buy from TW. I get that. I mean, if this stream, people watch this on the replay, it's just, we're just putting it out there. I'm not trying to say you won't see this from, but other streamers, and I'm not, there's no criticism. Everyone's going to stream about what they want to stream about. But this goes back to my stuff about just trying to inform the community about what's going on. I'm no saint. I don't pretend to be one, but this is something that I feel like people still don't know what's going on. Guys, that's what's wild. Is that like people still don't know?
Yeah, I mean, I knew 3 years ago not to buy from these guys.
I did too, but there's still people who are like, yo, guys, like I didn't know, like is TW still good to buy? Like, you know,
not since 2019.
Well, that's what I mean, though. But that's what I mean. Like, it needs to be implied and reinforced. And yeah, we can go on, like, you know, the whole thing talking about Captain Kangaroo and everything that he was doing. I mean, just hustling and pushing. I mean, I know someone made a comment that, you know, what is it? That's still wild. They're still advertising on social media, like they're still shipping items. You know, and the Big Dog says once you create a claim, escalate that claim as soon as as soon as you can. Yeah, I mean. Collectors got screwed because on pre-orders and 6-month limit on CC chargebacks. What do you say? And Big Dog said, I had FOMO for the WB 100 Wonder Woman and pre-ordered from TW. I got my money back from PayPal. I got lucky. Yes, you are one of the lucky ones. But and then think,
I mean, there's a reason. I mean, there's a reason why the certain influencer, he jumped ship how he did and as fast as he did. And there was a reason he made sure to go out of his way to post conversations with certain parties from TW.
Yeah.
And then he also made sure to go out of his way, wink, wink, to put certain information out, like certain business and direct contact numbers to certain individuals within TW, because that certain individual was trying to basically show or establish, that, once he was made aware of these situations.
Who, Justin? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a total sham show.
It's free. This is my stream. You can say whatever you want. It was Justin, so it's fine. People.
I'm also
I love
trying
how
to
for
be
the
very
longest
specific and careful in what I say right now, though.
I like for the longest time he tried to tell the entire community he had nothing to do with them. Even though when you went to the website, it showed Justin's collection like on their website. And then once the shit finally hit the fan where he couldn't hide it no more, then he wanted to come out in White Knight and act like he was trying to help the community. Dude, you spent so many years robbing the community. Now you want to come out and act like you're Robin Hood. Doesn't work that way.
Well, that's the thing, Don, is that we're commenting on issues that are publicly known. I mean, I get what you're saying. We'll watch what people say. I mean, I'm not over here necessarily, but I'm just commenting on literally what has been put out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there documented. I mean, to be fair, he did a live stream on it a few months back, kind of outlining the whole situation. And it's like what you said is that, you pander this company for such a long time, and then you jump ship and then try bed. It's kind of like, what do you expect? And then at the end of the day, the collectors are the ones who, and that sucks. It really does. I mean, we could sit here, guys, and we talk and we kind of joke and, say the community is this, that, and the other. Listen, is the community sometimes too anal retentive on stuff? Are they too nitpicking? Are they too whiny? Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, I hate to see people get screwed over financially. Mm-hmm. That just sucks. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't wish it on anybody I don't like, that you get fucked over with your money. Because at the end of the day, we all work hard for our money. But we all work hard for our money, right? We all bust our ass every day.
I'll just tell you this.
And to lose that kind of money on something because you're naive and you don't know, and you watch these videos, it sucks. And I feel bad for people. I genuinely feel
there are A-list celebrities right now in the United States that are facing federal charges for doing a single commercial for a defraudulent company and product. I'm just saying, in this influencer, he worked for them for 5 years, 6 years, and almost peddling a defective fraudulent company in their Ponzi scheme setup. Just saying, certain celebrities in the United States are facing federal charges for much less than what he did.
Are we any final thoughts on shit TW? Got like one or two things we'll wrap up. You know, we hit the hour and 50-minute mark. I figure
I'll slip in a public service announcement for just quickly on top of like for those that don't know about that knew or don't know about Toys Wonderland, but also like for those that are collecting like that do happen to go in the custom route of figures, and I've touched on a few of those before. From my 11 plus years of experience in collecting, may I offer some advice to those collectors out there that are thinking about trying to custom. Be sure you know where the guy that's doing the custom figures, where he's from. And I mean that, and I learned from experience, don't order custom figures from countries in Europe area that are in the middle of a war. Doesn't end well, and you'll lose your money. So that's just a small little public, service announcement for your friendly neighborhood Hadelorian.
No, funny thing, I went to
order a Slipknot mask back in the day from a customizer in a certain area that's at war, and 2 weeks went by, and I was like, "What's going on? I haven't heard nothing." Then I got an email. Due to unforeseen circumstances with the current world situation, we have to close shop.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. I had orders for parts from Ukraine, and then all of a sudden, like a week later, it's like, yeah, we're our workshop was bombed. We can't help you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Same with me. My mom was Ukraine as well.
Keith Lee got bored. He says, "Man, let's move on from TW." Yeah, we're moving on, but it was something that was important to address because they're like they're not going away, unfortunately. But it is important to educate or at least bring to light some things that are happening. Peyton says 70 in here. Remember, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, I appreciate that. Hitting the like button shows YouTube that there's engagement and gets it out there. I do want to actually, can I bring this up for just 1 second? I am a very good point. I'm going to leave up about that. It says 70 in here, hit that like button. It means a lot actually to me. If people, a lot of times when YouTubers say, "Oh, hit that like button, subscribe, blah, 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 blah." Oh, cool. For me, I'm trying to engage more on my channel. Comments, obviously if everyone sees I'm putting out a shit ton of videos, I got so many ideas that I can't even record them fast enough. I have it on there. I turned it off. I don't have memberships on my channel. I thought about re-advertising it. I took it down because I thought it was total bullshit and that I couldn't put out content that I thought meant anything. I just want to be honest. It's something like this. I know it goes under the radar, but hitting the like button for someone that's making content, like doing the streams, it actually means a lot more than like joining a membership and paying something monthly, because by you hitting the like button on a stream right now, which is free and effortless, it actually is showing YouTube like, hey, this guy's getting, this channel is getting engagement. We're going to put it out there more. Okay. And I just want to let those that are watching, because I've been getting really good viewership, that actually means a lot more to me personally as a content creator than signing up for $1.99 a month. That just like YouTube takes 30% of it anyway. So it's silly. And that's why I don't want to do that. So when people drop these comments like 70 in here, hit the like, I really do appreciate that. And I just want those watching, like that means a lot for me as a content creator, that doing a free task, like dropping a like button on it, it actually means a lot more than you may think. And people do take it for granted. I try to like a lot of videos I watch because people, it takes time. We're taking time away to have, to talk about and do stuff like this. It is pretty effortless, but nevertheless, we're guys that we want to get together and have fun. So I do appreciate Peyton putting that out there, and Cigars doing as well. It goes a lot more. It means a lot more to me than maybe people think it does. And I think it's a very underrated thing, just like hitting the like button. Simple as that. That being said, that's my public service announcement about that. I want to touch a base on a few more things and then we'll wrap up. We have a little more time here, but I want to give kind of a preview of a stream that we're doing next week. Sean, I know me so far, me and you. So for you guys out there that haven't seen Phil's Customs, if you've seen this video that Denobi did famously talking about the 89 Batmobile. He did like a video of Hadalorian's lair, and there was walking around looking at the Justice Mobile and things like that. And one of the things that Denobi saw was this snow speeder. It's 1/6 scale snow speeder. It wasn't Jazz Inc. It was actually made by Phil's Customs, and it was a different price point altogether, a different type of vehicle, but nevertheless, it was a very impressive one on the video. And Sean recommended different ideas for the stream, and he's like, "Hey, what if if I reach out to Phil, would you be interested in having him on stream?" I was like, "Absolutely. I love talking to people that build stuff. I'm not handy myself, but I really, I like the thought process behind everything." And so he reached out to Phil first, and then I piggyback off it and introduced myself. So next week on stream, if you guys are interested, we are going to have Phil's Customs on as kind of a guest and talk about everything that he's got going on. He makes a lot of custom 1/6 scale, 1/8, but 1/6 is kind of his forte. He said he does experiment with other scales, but I just wanted to give you guys and he puts all his content on his Facebook. I'll drop this in the Facebook, in the group. Definitely head over, give him a like maybe, and support. He's doing great stuff, but more specifically, Sean, I mean, we're not going to get into the weeds too much because I want to save some of it for next week, but he has been teasing. I've been looking at his photos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah. That's 1/6 scale.
That is a
no, the Outrider. Go up. He's doing the Outrider.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
You listen. It's called teasing, man.
You won't believe what Phil has done, man.
I got to tease. I mean, obviously, it's all on his Facebook. You can go over and look at it, obviously. But I mean, this is he's calling it the Dagobah Diorama X-wing. So yeah, he's just showing you progress of what he's doing. So
yes. So the Dagobah one is like the wings aren't going to open on this one, but I think he's done some prior ones with the wings that do open.
Yeah, there you go.
And going through his stuff is just like you're a kid in a candy store, like the stuff and then like these are what's this awesome. I love seeing pictures like this. This is the prototype. He goes through his process on building, and I can't wait to talk to Phil and just to pick his brain on how he does. Because I've dived into a few dioramas myself. Nothing to this guy's level whatsoever. But I'll tell you right now, he's by far one out of the custom guys that I've worked with and bought from. Phil's by far some of the best paint and weathering on his vehicles on his custom dioramas I've ever seen. I've come across. This guy's legit. I've purchased I'm a customer of Phil's way back in the day. Ryan said, I bought the one of his snow speeders, and to this day it holds up, and it's still one of the primo grails in my collection. It's a showstopper, and there's just so much you could do with this figure, and it's nice and how he builds it too. Like they're actually incredibly light. Yeah, see there it is right there, and that right there. I don't have it turned on, but the cockpit lights up. It's all set up, and those the brake wings and stuff are all they move and everything. They're hinged, everything. They're incredibly accurate how he builds it, and there's the gun turrets in the back and how that swings. And I mean, I can't say enough about this. And
the price point was that, I mean, to be fair, he's using different materials. So I think his costs are going to be different, but like you said, you paid, I don't remember what it was, but we'll get into all that stuff obviously next week. I just want to give people kind of a taste because, it's definitely kind of a niche product or, a niche clientele. So I didn't want to just have a stream and someone come on and like, well, what the hell are you guys talking about? I wanted to tease. I'll make the thumbnail in advance and put it all together. I talked to him. He's ready to go. He's looking forward to it. It might be between 7:30, 8 o'clock next week, depending on the time. We'll work it all out. But I basically got a list of questions, and the way it's going to be is, Sean's going to run point on this, kind of have the conversation. I'm going to fall back and interject where I want to. I just want to more or less listen. But I love the process of building stuff. And I think even Uncarded, you said get Metaphor Customs on. Yeah, I'm open to all that stuff actually. Him, and then I never even reached out to him, but I'm going to say it on stream. Legacy Art Dioramas, who made my Boba Fett base.
That'd be great to get him on there.
Yeah, I'd like to get him on. I mean, I could just ask him. I mean, I talk to him sometimes on Instagram. I could just reach out to him and ask him, hey, if you're interested. I might just put him out there on blast. So if he's not interested, that's perfectly fine. But I'm definitely all about that whole building process of stuff, and I really enjoy it. But I just wanted to give those watching, and I'll put it out in there in a lot of the groups because I know there's a lot of diorama groups out there. So I'll try to get it set up ahead of time. But our plan is next week, if there's any major releases or drops, we might talk about that for a little bit, like a few minutes, not spend too much time on it because I really want to dedicate all the time with Phil, just to be able to talk about him and understand everything that's going on. And like I said, Sean, if you can get more photos and videos of your stuff, and that's why I wanted you on too, because you're an actual customer. That's why I have no skin in the game to talk about it. You've bought the products before, and you said yourself, if he does an X-Wing, you're like,
I've been bugging Phil for the last 5 years now. Like, hey man, where's my X-Wing? Where's my X-Wing?
Yeah,
he says it's coming, and so he when he builds it, I'm going to put him on the spot and see if he's going to do a run of these.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I don't care. Look, yeah, people are going to say, what about the space? Look, I'll deal with that problem later. That's a tomorrow problem.
That's future problems.
The today problem is let's get a run of these going so we can just say that I'll rip apart my living room and just have this as my centerpiece in my living room. I don't care.
Garage? You mean my extra collection room?
Yeah. This thing is sick looking, man. Like I already see, like looking at how he builds the speeders and past projects and everything. I already got this in my head exactly what he's going to do with it. And it's going to look sick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having the conversation. Like I said, he was a really nice guy. He was like obliged. Like I told him, like I'm nobody. He was like, I was very gracious of his of how nice he was on the phone on the phone we were DMing on Facebook. So he was super excited about it, getting everything great to go. And so, like I said, you got a list of questions you're going to ask him. So I just want to bring that up to the people. So watching, just to kind of let you guys know already what's pre-planned for next week. I want to got a few more minutes here, right? I think I could squeeze one more topic in. And this is a question for the panel. And I'm putting everyone on the spot. I could have asked this earlier and got your pictures. I'll pull up photos on Sideshow, as a matter of fact. But so I was talking to Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles, and I was asking him because he just got the DX06 for me, the Jack Sparrow. And there's a couple other older figures that I want to go after. One of them is that Jack Nicholson 89 Joker, and my whole thing is like, yeah, I want it, but like I'm wondering if we'll see something this year, maybe, Back to the Future Part 2 figures are the only thing missing out of my collection. And then so I want to pose this to the panel, and like I said, think about it, we'll have a conversation, and I can pull up some photos just to kind of visual storytelling here. What figures, not for because we're not here giving advice to people not to buy. We're not being hypocritical, but for yourself, are there any figures that you guys think that you would hold off on if you were going to get, because you're thinking of maybe it being in danger of a 2.0 possibly? Like for me, I'm thinking the Back to the Future Part 2 figures, and I'm going to go with the Jack Nicholson 89. That's what I'm going with personally. That's just me. I'm not telling people, advise, clip this, pass the footage around, make sure you clip it. I am not telling people to not buy these figures. I'm just saying in my own mind, because the Hot Toys just did the BVS Batman, the 89, like they are touching stuff. So I was thinking in my head, like, man, I kind of want to get this, but then I'm wondering, like, will they redo this figure? So maybe I'm going to hold off another few months and wait and see. Do you guys have anything in mind that you're thinking that, like, if you were to get, what do you think, Don?
All right, so I'm going to give you two because they're interconnected. And because one franchise has already seen a huge uptick, and we're going to get more. And then there's two projects for the other franchise, which may potentially reinvigorate it. Alien/Aliens and Predator. Because, again, Prey came out. We already got the new Feral Predator. Supposedly, there's going to be we're going to get multiple new Predator movies now. Obviously, the World War II Predator with the Navajo Code Talkers. Other potential, Predator movies. And then when you're having the new Alien movie Romulus, which is going to take place in between Alien and Aliens, and then when you have the new TV show, which takes place like almost 67 years in front of us, that is almost at the time in the timeline of the creation of the Colonial Marine Corps. So ultimately, I think we're going to get new like 2.0s of Predators. We're going to get 2.0s of not only like Big Chap from Alien. We will see, new warriors from Aliens, and I'm hoping we see 2.0 of Colonial Marines.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of uptick in that kind of stuff. I would definitely agree. I would also add another one. I also would think Terminator as well.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. Is
I thought about chasing.
Going,
I thought about chasing the DX10, and then I'm thinking maybe not.
I don't want to go back because, like, I have a feeling that with a lot of this downtime with movies, given what we're going to see, like we've already talked about, that we're definitely going to see a lot more reissues and 2.0s coming just to fill in the gaps between obviously movies and TV shows and whatnot that they're licenses for. I can see them going back to like 80s, 90s stuff. So, I mean, it's one reason why I don't want to go backwards. Like Don said, Aliens, you got Predator, you said Terminator. I mean, they might even go back. We might even get John Matrix from Commando reissue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of that stuff I want, but then I don't want to go backwards because what if, they're going to have to do fillers, this year because of the lapse between movies and whatnot. So I see them going back and giving us a lot of 2.0s from some of the earlier stuff, the things that they know that people are wanting. Like a lot of people want the Predator 2.0s. A lot of people, or even some are 3.0s, like the Elder Predator. And then Xenomorphs. Everybody wants Xenomorphs. Everybody wants, a power loader, a new power loader with Ripley and things of that nature. So I could see them definitely going back. That's why I don't want to go back right now.
Sean, very impressive comment.
Is that Death Star 1 or Death Star 2, though?
That'll be Death Star 1.
I heard Sean clicking back there, and I'm like, and then I just saw a comment. I'm like, that's probably the most impressive.
So Death Star 2 would probably be what, 38 kilometers?
Math is part of my forte.
Okay.
Obviously, holy crap. In order to get that hot toy, you have to invest in buying land as well.
Land,
Sean,
that's bigger than some countries. That's bigger than the Vatican.
If you bought it in Guam, it might tip Guam over. If you know,
I know that comment.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
So, Sean, what do you think? Like I said, not exactly preaching advice to those to not buy stuff, but if there was anything on your radar that, whether or not you would be buying that you might say, hey, you know what, let me hold off a little bit and see what Hot Toys does. Is there anything that's kind of on your radar that comes to mind initially?
Well, I mean, yeah, you kind of beat me to the punch there. Joker 89 is definitely one I would hold off on, just because, like, and if you can't hold off on it, I mean, there's a decent third-party version that you can get that for like essentially like under $200. So, and then you're not paying that massive secondary market purchase. And if a 2.0 comes out, okay, well then you didn't spend that, like, you didn't break the bank to get an older one and then feel bad that you got this when you really wanted the 2.0. And you can always put the third party one near the back of the DTOF or the back of the module case, if you will, for so it doesn't get prime real estate. And then I thought I got the third party version because I didn't want to plunk down the money for the big one or for the original. But if a 2.0 comes out, I'm definitely going to get it.
Yeah.
But then as for other ones, I don't know. I kind of want to say it depends on the price. If it depends on the price, if the Joker Joaquin Phoenix gets when they can announce it, and if it's in the $800,000-$900,000 range, I'm gonna hold off for I'm gonna roll the dice and see if Hot Toys does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not down for another $1,000 Joker.
I think a lot of people are tapped out on $1,000 Jokers. I don't mean that as a.
I mean, I got a decent budget, but man, my budget ain't that big.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nope.
Decisions had to be made this year, and there was tears spilled over my old fashioned, on these decisions that had to be made, and because you just can't get everything. It just, unfortunately.
Austin says, would you guys be interested in an AT-AT 1/6 scale leg? Funny you actually say that.
Yeah, Austin's been trolling through there. He saw that on Phil's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's one of the questions you want to ask about that in terms of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's also some other golden nuggets in there too. If you dive deep enough in there, you can see some stuff in the background.
He says 1,000. Draw the line 35. Thank you for being here. He says 1,000 K. Better get me a vehicle for that price. Yeah. And then actually, you made another comment that I'm not sure if. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you were there for the full segment. I mean, he made his comment saying likeness rights for Harrison Ford can't be an issue because Hot Toys made a new indie figure. Got to be something else. I mean, we kind of touched on that. You know, I don't know if you were here. Yeah, I don't know if you were here the whole time in that segment. We kind of touched on, kind of dove more into that topic. If you catch it on the replay, we kind of really
I think it's probably going to be about halfway through the replay.
Yeah, we brought that up about that.
We covered that extensively.
Yeah.
So it's a good public service announcement.
No. And like I say, he said, I missed the beginning. Yeah, that was all addressed, talking about Sean Hadelorian dove into the whole idea about, you know, the difference licensing, just because it's not necessarily tied to one. It's a really good conversation I think we had. If you missed that, you want to catch that part of the replay. That was your question was addressed in some way by Sean in the panel. Payton says bank robber Joker is another one.
Yeah, that would be a 3.0.
That's like a 3.0. And like I said, I mean, at that point, it's like how many Jokers?
3.0 bank robber Joker.
I mean, I'll just jump in real quick. At this point, why has not one company done Nurse Joker and given them the detonator?
I don't know. We've all been asking for damn Nurse Joker. Hell,
didn't they do a third party?
No, they might have done like a kit for clothing, but as far as I know, no company has actually produced a fully done up Nurse Joker.
Can we? How much time do you guys have left? Do you guys have like 5 minutes?
Yeah, I got 5 minutes.
I want to show you guys. Can I give a shout out to somebody? This is totally non-6 scale related, but
it's your channel, of course.
I know. Obviously, I know. But no, because this is something
on your own channel.
No, this is the democracy channel. So
yeah. So this is this basically is this is something that came up a couple days ago, right? And I thought this was really cool. So for those who don't know, this is an old stream I did. This is like one of my first streams, actually. I'm gonna pull this video up because there's a reason for it. It's just nostalgia purposes. And I think Sean, I think you guys will like this. I did a stream. When did I do this? 8 months ago with Connor, Hot Toys Hotline. And I did this stream with a guy called Carl Newman. And I don't know, Sean, I may not even talk to you about this. Carl was actually he worked on Batman 89, since we're talking about Batman 89. He was actually hired to be the movement double for Michael Keaton. Okay. Now, why I say that is because you see this shot right here, it's on of him being lowered down. This is actually the guy Carl. This is him in these key scenes. So the opening sequence, when it was him being lowered down, that was him in all the key frames. I'm gonna ruin everyone's idea of 89 Batman, by the way, from this stream. This scene here, the famous shot when he opens his wings and jumps off. This is the guy Carl. This isn't anybody else. This is him doing it. All the movements of being, because the guy was a male ballerina. And so they hired him for that reason, to perform certain movements and motions in the movie. And it's funny enough because there's some scenes you could actually see that it was him in like his mask and stuff. So like this opening sequence was him on top of Access Chemicals. This was him getting into the Batmobile that was him jumping into the car. Like he was in a lot of famous scenes of the movie, standing in front of the car when it's about to hit him. That was him. And then more importantly, the bell tower sequence. And this is him too, when the cape draped over, and like I'm kind of seeing, and that's him right there. You can see that's actually his jawline. That was him when the guy jumped down. So he's in a lot of actual famous scenes in the movie that were him. And so the reason why I say that is because he's someone that didn't get a lot of credit because he was kind of he was in the credits and stuff like that. But I bring this up because it's just something that came full circle, that it popped up on my Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. His Instagram handle is actually called Ballet Bat 1989 is his actual Instagram page. I just thought this was so cool. I'm going to share this photo. There's someone that I follow on Instagram that makes Batman suits, like actual suits, and he actually did a Photoshop with Carl back in the suit.
Nice.
This is the first time he's worn the suit since being in the movie from 1989, and as part of like an anniversary thing, this is an original replica suit, and he was actually able to do a photo shoot with, and that's Carl, him standing there. And this is actually a photo of him in the suit. He did a whole photo shoot that is actually him in the suit. I just thought that was so cool. Like, as a Batman 89 fan, and for me personally, like with this YouTube channel, I had a 2-hour conversation with him. I literally talked to him almost every other day. Like, I messaged him, "Hey Carl, how you doing?" And most pleasant guy to talk to. I actually have an autograph of him. He sent me a photo of an autograph from him. As a matter of fact, the most famous shot in Batman is him at the very end when, you know, Batman's standing on like on top of the gargoyle where they have the bat signal.
Dun 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 dun.
That's Carl.
That's
Carl
armor
standing there with a fan blowing the cape on him. Him standing there looking up at the bat signal. That's him. I have that autographed photo hanging on my wall. So he sent that to me. But I just thought that was pretty cool to share. There's just things like that. Like, it just, that kind of reinforces the idea why I do this channel, because it allows me to connect with not only you guys, the fans, but someone like Carl. And he's a real underrated person. Definitely. He didn't get a chance to be in Batman 1992, unfortunately. The second one. Yeah, these are like behind the scenes photos of him doing, you know, putting on the suit and everything. The cowl.
That was such a kick-ass interview, dude.
Like, that's just that's just so cool. I thought that was cool for someone that interviewed this guy, and for him to get the proper respect and dues that he deserves. So if you guys are out there, you want to check out Carl's Instagram page. He's the nicest guy. I'll tag his stuff in there. But he's such a sweetheart, great guy. And, you know, I thought that was really cool. It's just one of those moments where I saw that and I was like, oh man, and it's Batman anniversary. And it's funny enough, I'm trying to get him to do it. Sean, you might like this personally, is that he actually hired somebody to do a one-off custom faceplate of him.
No, nice.
That he put in the DX08.
That's cool.
So it's him, and I'm trying to get him to do to manufacture a run. And this is him too in the bat suit. Like, that's him.
Oh, you know what's funny? I was gonna make a joke about how, like, you never know. Hot Toys actually might make a version of him, like they
there it is.
Not tell us like they did with Batfleck there.
Yeah,
there it is. The motorcycle.
Yeah, that's him. That's his faceplate. So that's the DX09. Is that the 9 or the 8? The 9. And he had someone custom sculpt a faceplate for him that pops into the figure. I was like, dude, please, can I was like, I need one. Carl, can I please get one of these? Like, cool, because that's what I want to do. So the new Batman that's coming out, that'll be the Michael Keaton one. So I have the old DX. I was gonna make this my Carl Newman one. So it's like the stunt double version, and then that, you know, I thought that'd be cool. A little homage.
If you do that, then, dude, just as a joke, you got to get like one of those director chairs to give him a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's the sculpt right there. I think it looks just like him, actually. That's what's funny. It looks just like him. So, but yeah, that's pretty much. Any final thoughts? Anybody here? He said, watch 89 Batman with the wife. Still pumped. Yeah, I'm excited for the Jazz Inc. Batmobile. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I mean, I can't wait for that car. I can't wait for the Hot Toys one. I think this is the year of Batman, personally. Got a lot of Batman stuff coming out. The modern suit, the 2 Batmobiles, the 89 Batman. I mean,
85 anniversary Hot Toys announced.
There you go. 85 anniversary, man. Got to go back and watch. Still a great movie. Yes, I don't want that to ruin. And Peyton, thank you so much for dropping Carl Newman's Instagram account. Go over there, give him a follow. He's just a genuinely nice guy who's very humble, who does these lives. I was a nobody. I was a nobody. My channel was not what it was. Still growing, but he was gracious. I asked him for an interview. Absolutely. Couldn't have said yes fast enough. Came on. Nice. So, but we'll go around the horn. Hey DeLorean, what do you got? I mean, you got any final thoughts? Any hate to share? Anything?
Yeah, just kind of recap what I said. Like, if anybody on live streams, influencers, or anything telling you that hey, something's gonna drop, the Bestman hands right around the corner, do not believe them. Nobody knows until it drops. Nobody knows until, like, even when you get a preview at one of the shows and they do like and they're showing like a prototype, it ain't done until it goes up for PO. So don't jump the gun, sell your collection or anything else like that or anything. It's nobody knows, period. And with that said, I'd like to thank Mr. Mom there for having me on the stream again, and for everybody, they like to say, like, collect what I like. Don't.
There it is. Spend your money on what Hey DeLorean tells you to spend your money on.
Because
I'm
Hatalorian
your
said
friendly
so.
neighborhood Hatalorian. I'm going to hate on
There you go.
all the good stuff.
So you're saying Best Buy Han's dropping tonight.
So you're
So
saying
what-
there's a chance.
Beat me to it, damn it.
That's right.
Let me tell you something right now. If that comes out tonight, I gotta play. I'm gonna play a lot of it.
Man, I would love to eat crow.
Dude.
Oh,
I'm gonna have you.
absolutely.
I'm gonna have to have
I'm
you.
going to be
pick my
so
lottery
happy
numbers.
that it actually came out. I'll be happy.
I get.
eating crow.
You can't really say that he's wrong because Hatalorian said, "Don't believe anybody until you see it with your own eyes."
It ain't ordered until it's ordered.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I get first dibs. No Denobi, no geeking out. If a Bespin Han comes out, I get the Hatalorian exclusive.
I'll wear my Hatalorian helmet of shame
And a red tank. And
actually,
a red.
man, I'll be celebrating. I mean, hey, I'm hating on it that that there's no Bespin hand. Great. You know what? Nobody wants a Bespin hand or more indie figures than me. I say young indie figures, not geriatric wheelchair Dial of Destiny or Dial of Analysis kind of figure. But,
If you're wrong, you're gonna have to be on the next stream with the lampshade of doom.
Yeah,
And a red tank top.
I hope so. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll wear the red tank top then.
I'll order for
Yeah.
you.
I hope I want to be wrong on this so bad, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to look at it. And all right.
Don
Yeah,
Prime.
you're gonna come on stream with a big slice of pie.
Again, like Hatalorian saying is, I mean, again, we've said stuff in the past. This may be coming, that may be coming, but it's because we have people who are actually, in Hong Kong that actually have associations with people in the industry, or they'll actually go to Secret Base and they'll see, oh, this item's removed, this item's removed, this, So I mean, a lot of it is basically you have to make estimated guesses. Or as I would like to call swag. It's a scientific wild ass guess. But like Hatalorian is correct. Until you actually see it up for pre-order, doesn't mean it's gonna actually be up for pre-order. I mean, there are plenty of prototypes that we've seen on Sideshow. We've seen videos of. Hell, I've seen prototypes in person at conventions that have never seen the light of day. So just because it's on Sideshow for the RSVP or coming soon, it doesn't mean it's actually going to be RSVP or coming soon, anytime soon. So, like Hatalorian is saying, just take it with a grain of salt. I mean, if it smells like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So, I mean, just trust your gut. But also at the same time, like we always say, it's your money, spend it how you want. No one's paying your bills. You don't have to answer to anyone except
Hey man,
or whatever.
hey, you can't be stealing my quote there, buddy.
Yeah, as Don says, it's your money. Spend it like the Hatalorian wants.
Yeah, you don't pay my bills. You don't tell me how to spend my money. Get the quote right.
That's why I didn't say it right.
All right.
CMB. You there?
Bathroom break for CMB.
Bathroom break. I was just putting up my DX06 that I got. I'm really excited about this right there. So I'm going to unbox that later. Finish up. CMB, got any final thoughts to wrap it up?
I think he's getting water or something.
That's
it.
All right.
No,
CMB,
believe me, his
that wraps up the final thought.
Yeah, it's his final thought. CMB usually says collect your way. Nobody pays your bills. Anything like that, or things like that in nature. He just said, can you guys not hear me? No, CMB, we can't hear you. You must be muted or something like that. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't hear you. I'm just trying to quote him. I'm talking. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying there's a problem. He has some technical difficulties with CMB. He's saying that he's talking. He's private chatting us saying he's talking, but unfortunately, we can't hear him. CMB usually says, collect your way. Nobody pays your bills, so they can't tell you how to spend your money. I hope I did you justice. But unfortunately, we're having some – I got taken out by the synthetic. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think he talked enough stuff about Justin from Toys Wonderland that they hacked you and they shut you down, unfortunately. I think that's what it might have been. But Until then,
War 2.0.
yeah, I mean, but like I said, we held 60 plus strong. I think we tapped out at 80, which is a record for me in the chat. I really do appreciate it, everybody. Definitely consider, dropping a like on the video. That means more than any super chat, anything like that you guys can do. Dropping a like on the video means so much more. Like I said, as a content creator, it helps YouTube see like, hey, I'm doing something right and pushing out the stream to other people. Subscribe to the channel if you're seeing this for the first time. We will be back next week, Monday, between 7:30, 8 o'clock with, like I said, Phil Customs. Sean and I try to get some other people going on the stream if you guys are interested in that. And Ekwan says, since you got the DX06, does that mean that's a pass for the 15? I never said that. Never said that was a thing. But until then, guys, I really do appreciate all the support as always. Thank you so much for those who are here. This is Mr. Mom Collectibles, and I will leave you guys with some thank yous and some goodbyes. I got to update these videos at one point, but they'll still work.
That's everything. Thanks. Thank you. In about 30 years, I hope so.
Thank you for your cooperation.